Guys,
Check, check, check. What's up, chat?
you guys here? We there? There we go. Gay boners. All right. Wouldn't be a show without a couple gay
It would
boners.
not be a show
Yeah.
without gay boners.
All right. Well, clearly there's audio because people are responding to us, brother. Yeah. All right. All right, you ready? All right. Get out of the way.
Yeah, move, Joe. Damn it.
What is up, guys? It's Andy Priscilla, and this is the show for the realists. Say goodbye to the lies, the fakeness, and delusions of modern society, and welcome to motherfucking reality, guys. Today we have Andy and DJ.
Cruise the motherfucking internet.
That's what we're going to do. We also have a very special guest, Mr. Royce White.
Thank you.
Coming all the way down from Minnesota to be on the show. A lot of you guys are fans. A lot of you guys have been requesting him. We've been talking for years.
Couple years.
Yeah, about getting you on the show. So
Glad
I'm glad
I could
we
be here. Thanks for having me.
Yeah,
man.
bro. It's
Appreciate
awesome
it.
to have you. So before we even get into the show, kind of like bring people up to speed on where you're at and what you're trying to do and how you kind of got here.
Man, what a story. I mean, I'm born and raised in Minnesota. Five generations on either side. My mother's father's side and mother's side. I come from a unique heritage in that my mother's mother is half black, half Norwegian. Her mom was my grandmother's mom was a first generation immigrant from Norway.
That's where you got all that height from, bro.
There you go.
Yeah.
No doubt.
What are you, 6'8"?
6'8".
Yeah.
And some change, and some change.
Yeah.
There's some
6'9".
change there for
change
sure.
in there.
He's 6'9".
Yeah.
He's 6'9".
Actually,
6'7".
Charles Oakley always jokes with me every time I see him. He goes, "You're 6'7". You're 6'7". It's just a fun joke. I love Charles Oakley. Shout out to him. But no, my mom's father is half black and half Mexican. His mother was a first generation
See, that's
immigrant.
why you're not 6'9".
That's exactly right. That's exactly what. That's right.
Gotcha.
That's it right there. Yeah.
All right. Right. Interesting. We'll talk about illegal immigrants.
That's right.
But no, man. I mean, I'm born and raised in Minnesota. Started off as a professional athlete. Obviously excelled at basketball. I played all sports when I was young, though: basketball, football, baseball, even a little bit of soccer. And basketball took off for me around high school. Became an All-American. Then I became an All-American in college. Went to the University of Minnesota. Got in some trouble. Young years, staying at home. Best player, arguably one of the best players in the history of high school basketball in Minnesota. So it came with a lot of attention.
Yeah.
A lot of scrutiny.
Yep.
A lot of friends. A lot of trouble.
Yeah.
When you're 18.
Yeah.
Especially staying at home.
Yeah,
right?
bro.
And I ended up making it through that. I always tell people I could have easily not survived that time in my life.
Yeah.
Taught me a lot. And I went on to transfer to Iowa State, played under Fred Hoiberg. You can go Cyclones. They're doing great right now. And I was a part of turning that program around. When I got there, they hadn't been to an NCAA tournament in 7 years. And we made it back to the tournament for the first time. I was an All-American there for one season, got drafted, had a huge blowout fight with the NBA about their mental health policy. And I just tell that story briefly because I think it is the best backdrop for my political career. When I first got to, first of all, I was diagnosed with generalized anxiety when I was 16. First and only time I ever smoked weed, I had a massive panic attack, and then I would have subsequent panic attacks for like 3 months straight, 3 times a day. And they all hit at the exact same time every day.
Yeah.
And when you're 16 and you got a single mother, you barely have good health coverage. You don't get good checkups every year.
Yeah.
And you start feeling like you're having a heart attack. That shit's scary.
Most people don't know. Anxiety attack gets thrown around a lot now. Most people don't know what a real anxiety attack is.
No, I mean, this is full-blown blurry vision.
Can't breathe.
Heart check. Where you go to the ER and they say, we're going to have to draw some blood to make sure you're not having a heart attack.
Right.
Because all the markers are bouncing.
Right.
So I went through that. I was diagnosed with anxiety in high school, and somehow I was able to still be an All-American athlete. Basketball court was a place where I kind of zoned out, and the anxiety just went away. And once I got to college at Iowa State, we were doing well. We were picked to be last in the Big 12. We ended up finishing top 3 in my one season. And I got a lot of media attention for that. ESPN writers would come in and interview me, and they ask you, what's your routine? And I told them my routine for the pregame routine, and I ended up letting it slip that I didn't eat on the days of games. And I said, because of my anxiety. And the reporter's like, huh? What do you mean because of your anxiety? You can't just skip over that. So I went and I explained it to him, and it became a front page headline that year.
What year was this?
This was in 2012.
Okay.
Okay, so as I went through the season and we were successful and my draft stock started to rise, every year there's questions about a prospect's profile. Right. Okay, he's got the skills and the attributes. He's versatile. He's a good team player. He's an excellent passer. He can do a little bit of everything. Some of the commentators called me a Swiss Army knife, right? Because I just did a little bit of everything. I was 6'8", I'm 260, but I play the one on offense, and I guard the centers on defense. It's unique, hybrid, kind of player. And so, okay, well, where's his NBA draft stock going to be? Well, his anxiety is a huge question mark. Do we consider anxiety a genuine health issue, or do we consider it a character flaw? This was the question that was.
Yeah, and this is before mental health became mainstream.
Oh, this was what kind of sent mental health mainstream in a sense, because it was the first time that the NBA or professional sports across the board had to answer questions about their mental health policy. So then I get drafted to the NBA, and I'm at this thing called the Rookie Transition Program. They have it in Hoboken, New Jersey every year. And it's basically a seminar where they bring all the incoming rookies in and they teach you about finance and, attorneys and watch out for the girls. Try and trap you, get you pregnant, pregnant and all the whole night. Watch out for your family. Even your own mother may be stealing from you. You got to be careful. You know, here's an agent, here's a financial guy, and you're on your way, right?
Yeah.
So I'm there and I'm reading. I'm probably one of the
you find out those guys are the biggest ones.
Then
that's another story.
You learn that quick. You learn that quick. So I go back to my hotel room and I'm listening to all these stories, and one of them really stuck out to me is a guy by the name of Chris Herron, who was addicted to heroin. Very good player. I believe he went to St. John's, but it might have been Boston. It might be Boston College, but one of those, Boston College or St. John's. Anyway, people who know basketball know Chris Herron. Anyway, his story was that he was severely addicted to drugs. So they bring him in to speak to us. And I'm listening to him talk about leaving the game at halftime to go score smack on the streets in New York City. And I'm sitting there and not the drugs part, because obviously I was adverse to drug use in my first, bout with marijuana. I just, never had drugs around me as a kid. And fortunately for me, the marijuana turned me off to drugs altogether. So drugs wasn't a part of it, but the feelings and the things that he was talking about resonated with me. So I'm sitting there, I go back and I look at my collective bargaining agreement, and there wasn't a single mention of mental health in the entire document. But there was a banned substance list. Coincidentally, I'm prescribed one of the drugs that's on the banned substance list. So I'm asking the NBA and the team now, okay, what is this? I mean, how do you guys look at me being prescribed Xanax by, when needed, as necessary, for panic attacks? Am I considered like a risk to the organization, to the NBA? Yeah. No answers, crickets. Well, we don't know. It's a unique situation. We've never had a player who was public about his anxiety ahead of time.
Well, lucky you.
I saw, and the first one through the door usually gets shot.
That's right.
And that's kind of what happened there. And subsequently, 2 years after I went through a big public bout with them about this mental health policy, they would end up putting a mental health policy in place. Kevin Love came out and was talking about.
Bro, I think I remember.
Yeah,
I think I remember this.
Yeah, Kevin Love.
Talking about it.
It was Kevin Love and DeMar DeRozan were the next ones through the door, and obviously much more accomplished players because they had already been in the league. And Kevin Love was $100 million already at the time, and after them, it was just a watershed moment for all the professional sports. And part of me was like, I'm thankful that I was kind of a trailblazer, but I'm also regretful because I had no idea that the mental health conversation was going to be weaponized by the woke left the way it is now.
Right.
I didn't at 21. You don't realize, they got plans for this topic.
Right.
It goes from genuine anxiety, depression, let's say, drug abuse, right? Drug and alcohol abuse, or even PTSD, like with some of our troops, cops, players, young black men that come from the ghetto where people are shooting each other every day. And now all of a sudden if we don't let this person cut their penis off, then
mental health.
We're harming their mental health. That was not the mental health movement I was.
You just tell everybody that.
That's because it ain't. It's not. It's not the same thing.
It's not the same thing.
Right. I mean, and that shift came after I was already out of the league and off of the main stage. And I just say that because
this is interesting. You're bringing this up, because I watched this happen. I've always been paying attention.
Because you're a fitness dude, I'm sure you know.
Yeah, dude. And by the way,
mental is I've
had
important.
my struggles with it.
Everybody,
like real
almost,
shit. Okay, and it's to someone who's actually struggled with these things in a real way. It's insulting to watch everybody else fucking talk about it when it's being used as a shield.
Snowflake.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah. No. And so I only tell people that story in the beginning because a lot of people will ask, well, what makes you qualified to run for office at 34 years old? What have you done? It's like, I fought one of the biggest and most influential organizations in the entire world, in the history of human civilization, and I was vindicated. I was found to be right. And then I experienced them weaponize something that I sacrificed a career for, because I did end up being blackballed for that. Right? I mean, they were like, and they told me straight out, they were like, look, you got two doors. You can shut your mouth, go along with the program, make you some money, be a great player that we know you're going to be because you're skilled as hell. And we will help you be a trailblazer. We will help you become the face of this mental health conversation. And I just told them no. From the outset, I'm like, it sounds like a payoff. It sounds like you're trying to. You just can't pay to shut me up. On principle.
Why do they want to shut you up?
Well, because it threw. Well, this is interesting. Again, apropos to me running for office. People got to understand, the NBA and professional sports is a watering hole for a global corporate community. And industry and corporations have done great things for civilization. You run a great company yourself, I'm learning. So I'm not anti-company. I'm certainly not anti-capitalist. That would make me a communist. And we're adamantly anti-communist around the America First and MAGA camp. But there are severe issues with the culture of corporate America and the global corporate community. And one of them is one of them, how do I say this? Say it another way. The greatest trick that Karl Marx and the communists played on the world was to pinpoint that in an industrialized world, eventually everything does come down to price, unless you have people like this guy, which I respect, who does business with some sacred honor. It's just like having a country without God. If you have a business without sacred honor, everything gets reduced down to price, and the Chinese will beat us if it gets reduced down. Not just the Chinese, but Marxists. Marxists will win in a game of radical materialism where the human condition is reduced to price. So what I was saying is using the mental health as a interface for that consideration. I'm like, okay, you guys have basketball players here, professional athletes. It only benefits them if we talk openly about what people struggle with in their mind. And the mind, ironically, is a gateway to the spirit. I tell people all the time, St. Thomas Aquinas is a very, probably, in my opinion, the greatest Catholic theologian of all time. He said that the intellect and the spirit are inextricably linked, that the two go hand in hand. This is a very Catholic perspective on theology. It's like the intellect and the spirit are inextricably linked. You don't have one without the other. In fact, the more you develop the intellect, which the Bible is a guide for, the more fruitful spiritual life you will have and the better connection you will have to God, right? And so that starts with your psychology, your mental health. It is your mental health, your mind. It starts with education as well, and you can form people up the right way. But mental health is another way to say the human condition and a person's psychology. So when I brought that to the NBA, which is a representative of almost every industry in the world, they were like, "You think we want to have that conversation, dude? We are about to launch the greatest propaganda machine in the history of known civilization, social media. See, this was remember 2012, social media was just getting rolling.
Dude, it was I'm connected to the person I went to high school with that I've never seen in 20 years.
That was pretty much it.
Remember when you needed a college email to be on Facebook?
That's right.
Okay, that was 09.
Yeah.
We're talking 3 years later.
Yeah.
So social media didn't even get its pants on yet, right? But these people knew what the plans were because they were the early investors. They had already read the white papers. They knew what they were gonna push. They wanted to keep the mental health conversation in a very controlled sort of narrative,
right?
So that people wouldn't ask too many questions about the broader implications of dopamine, addiction, game theory, casino theory on social media. It's like when you're sitting at your social media scroll, your feed.
Yeah, they don't want the corruption. They don't want their nefarious design to be exposed.
That's right.
Yeah.
And so talking about mental health was a precursor, for uncovering that. And it still is. It still is a canary in the coal mine. And if you track it forward, and this is why I say, why I'm running for office, and I got blackballed because of this conversation, and this ended up being the real canary in the coal mine. But even if I had shut my mouth on that, if it was China, if it was the COVID vaccine, if it was the LGBTQ, I was getting blackballed on all those issues too.
Yeah, because you're not the kind of dude that's going to.
That's right. I would have, fuck you, no China, fuck you, no LGBTQ, fuck you, no COVID vaccines.
Right.
So I look back and it hurts me sometimes because I dedicated my life to basketball. Right. I love the game. I mean, I'm a purist. Yeah. I love the game at an intimate level. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man. You dedicate your whole life to it.
Yeah, but I'm thankful to God that He tapped me on the shoulder and said, I got a bigger plan for you. Yeah. And then now that brings us up to 2020. I'm in Minnesota, just come back from Canada. London, Ontario. I was playing professionally there for 2 years. Won 2 championships. I was, the MVP my first season, broke the triple-double record. The second season, I was the runner-up for MVP, but I was the scoring leader. And during this time is when Jordan Peterson went through his Bill C-16 controversy in Toronto. Mm-hmm. And now I'm sitting there, I'm watching this on local Canadian television at my house in London. I'm on TV. I'm in my room one morning, and I'm just watching local television, at the news channel, and I see this dude, Jordan Peterson, and he comes on, and he's kind of scraggly looking. He's got a weird little voice, and these people, these hosts, they just start attacking him about this transgender thing. I didn't even know what it meant. Wherever I was under a rock playing basketball for all these years of my life, I had no fucking clue what transgender even meant at 24 years old, and no clue. I'm listening now, and I walked away from it thinking, I fucking like this dude, Jordan Peterson. Yeah. He's logical, concise, brilliant, very articulate, and I don't understand what they're accusing him of exactly. So then I started listening to Jordan Peterson. I went back and I was listening to some of his lectures, and then I watched him go through this fight with the people there in Canada. And what I ended up thinking was, I'm getting the fuck out of Canada. And I did. I went back to Minnesota. I'm getting the fuck out of here. I don't know what these Canadians are up to, but this guy looks like one of the smartest people I think I've ever seen, and they look like they want to string him up on a cross. I'm getting out of this place. Yeah. Right? Yeah. But it introduced me to a political conversation that was far, far different than what I had been involved with the NBA. Same, but different, right? And so I get back to Minnesota, and I go to play in the Big Three, 2019. And in 2019, I got to be honest, I'm kind of pissed what I experienced with Jordan Peterson, because I'm like, I'm a big guy on fairness. Yeah, and they weren't being fair to him. I mean, clearly, there was no sacred honor in the way they were attacking him. Right. And it's a herald, like, for all of us, like, I'm going to be next. And that is kind of the heresy of democracy and the danger of mob rule. So I go to Big Three, I'm pissed. I'm wearing shirts, free the Uyghurs, every political, Edward Snowden, the whole panoply of what they would call red-pilled conspiracy theories. I'm just throwing them out there.
Yeah, so you're a fucking problem.
Yeah. But Ice Cube and Jeff Quadnitz were cool.
Yeah, Cube's with it.
Cube was always supportive. He's like, man, do your thing.
Yeah.
I'm with you. I support you.
Yeah.
We love you. Whatever you want to say, man, this what this league is for you guys, the players. And his partner, Jeff Quatnitz, who became a really good friend of mine, Jewish cat, graduated at Harvard in Obama's class, always been at the center of controversy because of the stuff Ice Cube has said. And Jeff defends him. He's like, no, this guy's not anti-Semitic. This dude is my partner.
Yeah.
And he can say what he wants, freedom of speech, just like anybody else, right? Anyway, I tell you that because Jeff ends up introducing me to Bannon. Him and Bannon were partners, former partners in a company. And once me and Bannon got hooked up, it was like, well, first 2020 happens. So I'm in the big three. I'm saying all these political issues. Boom, George Floyd dies. Inflection point.
I think that's where I first started following your stuff.
Inflection point for American history. I'm sitting at home, and this video goes viral. Everybody's watching it. And all of a sudden, I start seeing these people pop up and talk about it. People I've never seen before. Remember, I grew up born and raised in Minnesota, in the hood, right? In the neighborhood. St. Paul, Minneapolis, the whole Twin City metro area, all those neighborhoods you see now on the, on the news where black people live. I grew up there. And now I was raised by a single mom with a big extended family, so I kind of grew up around the entire metro area. So I'm watching this, and these talking heads are popping up, these black people who I've never seen before. Never seen them at any wakes, never seen them at any weddings, never saw them at the after-school program. They didn't play basketball with us. They weren't in the neighborhood ding-dong ditching. They weren't around in Halloween. So I'm like, who the fuck are these people? And who are you to come in here and talk on my behalf?
Yeah, bro, we saw that shit during Mike Brown here in St. Louis.
Yeah, that's where it started for us.
This shit pissed me off. No, it really pissed me off. So being the crazy, brash, smash mouth motherfucker I am, I'm just like, I'm putting my suit, I'm at the house, I'm putting my suit on. And then I get a call from Steven Jackson, who was related to George Floyd. You know, they were friends, but, it's family to him. And he was like, I'm coming to Minnesota. I'm like, as soon as you get here,
You talking about Steven Jackson?
Steven Jackson from
The Rams?
No, from the big three. Well, from All the Smoke.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Steven Jackson.
Yeah, got it.
Okay. Yeah, Matt Barnes is co-host on. Okay, so, and we played in the big three together.
Okay.
So when he came to Minnesota, I said, look, I got you. When you come, I'm with you. Because we're whether I agree with your politics or not, or whatever you think, a friend of yours just died, and you're coming to my state and my city, I'm going to be supportive of you.
Right.
You know what I mean? I'm going to be there with you. Okay, along the way, I'm also going to educate people on some things, because I don't know any of these leaders. But we're going to talk. We're going to get this shit organized real. Because I wasn't there. Remember, when I got drafted was when Trayvon Martin first died. So the whole kick up and spin up of BLM happened while I was playing in the NBA and then fighting the NBA about mental health policy. Completely disconnected from the whole race BLM conversation. I watched it. I saw some of it, but along the way, I just chimed in like, hey, it's not all on the cops, not all on the citizens. We got to be reasonable about this shit. Till the George Floyd thing popped up. And then I'm like, oh, okay, so wait a minute. So you mean to tell me these people been here the whole time doing the activism? Oh, hell no.
Right.
So I go to the front line and I organize this demonstration. I bring about 5,000 people to the front door of the Federal Reserve. Yeah, that's the first March protest we did. We're on our way to we started at US Bank Stadium. We walked through the streets. Everybody's like, we must be going to the first police precinct. No, we're not going to the first precinct. The Federal Reserve's right around the corner. I'm bringing you guys, you said the whole system is guilty. I'm going to show you how guilty the system is. I'm going to bring you to the doorstep of one of the most corrupt institutions in the country, in the world. Central Fractional Reserve Banking, unconstitutional tax, inflation. Let me tell you how the system works economically. Let me talk to you about monetary policy. These people are looking at me like I had three eyes.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm like, good. I like that.
Yeah.
Now we're getting somewhere. Yeah, when you let people blame the cops for all your problems, I know you either aren't serious about your problems,
or you're uneducated,
or you're getting paid.
Or
you're getting paid. So anyway, when I was out there and I was talking to people about corporatocracy and monetary policy and the Fed, all of a sudden, the LGBTQ activists of the city didn't like that me and some of my black friends, men, heterosexual, might
what it
add.
was. Yeah, well, you
Yeah,
gotta specify- that's
oh
what it
yeah.
was.
No, they
Yeah.
didn't like that. Well, they didn't like that we were doing our own protests and weren't coordinating with them.
Right.
Then this really pissed me off. I almost slapped the shit out of somebody. Seriously. No, seriously. This pissed me off. There was a young girl who came out and she sang the national anthem. Beautiful young girl. Her name is Jackie Blue. She has a few songs on iTunes. You can go look it up. Anyway, she came out to sing just to, be, inspirational, right?
Yeah.
So it caught on, and we started to have her sing. Every time I go to the Fed or do one of these things where I'm trying to, we bring her. All of a sudden, I get a call from this LGBTQ organization, and they ask me, is she gay or straight? And I'm looking at my phone. I said, excuse me? They're like, well, we just want to know are the LGBTQ people getting a fair chance to be represented and perform and sing? Like it's a fucking talent show.
Like, what fucking difference does it make?
I said, first of all, first of all, this is a grassroots, completely organic, me and a few of my basketball friends and some other black men in the community that I grew up with decided that the city's burning down. We need to do something that's stabilizing.
Mm-hmm.
We're not going to let these young white kids that are dressing up in all black dictate the energy of what's going on here in the Twin Cities. If people want to protest, I'm all for it, no matter what your views are, actually, because I believe in the right to protest. But if we're going to protest, let's actually get to the heart of the problems. I'm going to bring you here, and you're going to bow your heads and pray. And guess what? The beautiful part of the whole thing was about 10 times I got about 10,000 what would be atheists to bow their heads while we prayed.
That's awesome.
I don't know who they were praying to, but I was praying to Jesus Christ, and they were respectful.
Yeah.
Because when you get real strong male leadership, you'd be surprised how some of these Satanists will back down.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Okay,
Yeah.
So anyway, I get this call.
They can't have that, bro. That's why they've intentionally made men weak.
That's 100% correct. So I get this call, and this is what they were trying to do to me. They were trying to punk me, passive-aggressively and in secret. Not out in the front when we're at the Fed and say, you know what? We want to be at the police precinct because economic and monetary policy will point us to the leaders of the Democrat Party that are funding us being out here. I didn't know that at the time because I'm not in that little community.
Right.
I don't know the verticals coming down from George Soros and those people on high all the way down to your average local activist.
Right.
Now, the person who shows up in the street who gets high and fucks on the weekends, they don't know about the whole webbing of how the money flows.
No.
They just have their heartstrings pulled
Correct.
by a George Floyd video, right? So I get this fucking call, and they're like, who is she, who's she with? Is she a lesbian or straight or bi? What? And I said, even if this was an actual organization or corporation, it would be illegal. It would be discriminatory for me to ask her what her sexuality is. You're actually asking me to discriminate against her.
Yeah.
Now you're asking, I said, so first of all, it's none of your fucking business who she's having sex with. I don't know, but if I did know, I wouldn't tell you. And if you show up to my protest, I'm going to slap the fucking teeth out of your mouth for even asking.
Yeah.
And the backlash was heavy.
Yeah.
Then it was Royce is homophobic.
Yeah.
I said, oh, great. Let's do it.
Yeah.
I just saw Jordan Peterson go through this. I'm prepped.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
love this. Let's
Yeah.
fucking do it. And I didn't back down. So then they tried to push me out. The Washington Post was like, Royce White, a towering figure for local Minneapolis activism, till they figured out I was at the Fed. Then I was homophobic. And then I said, oh, okay, you guys want to play this game? I'm running for Congress on the Republican side. Ultra MAGA, America first. This LGBTQ shit is out of control. I'm not going to watch a black man die and you act like you're out here protesting on his behalf. And as soon as we get in the street, you say black trans lives matter. I don't even know what transgender is.
Yeah.
And if you want to have a transgender protest, you're an American citizen.
Yeah, the right
but
to
don't
do so.
blend that shit with us.
That's right.
Don't blend that shit with me. And don't speak on behalf of blacks. So that brought me up to 2022. I ran for Congress, tried to run against Ilhan Omar. I lost an endorsement in a convention by about 40 votes, went to primary, lost the primary by 900 votes. Let me tell you a story about Minneapolis. This is how bad Minneapolis is. Minneapolis Republicans. We're going to talk about Republicans today.
Yeah. Listen, bro, I'm not affiliated with either. So
how
say whatever
soft-bellied
the fuck you want.
How soft-bellied these Republicans are makes me sick. And I never knew them growing up because they're so weak.
Yeah.
They don't have the stones to bring representation into the city. But then they talk about needing to swing these votes. So I never even met a person who was actually affiliated with the Republican Party my entire life until I decided to run, right? Mm-hmm. Running in CD5, this is Ilhan Omar's district. Mm-hmm. There were only 10,000 2022 midterm Republican voters in the entire primary. 10,000. Now, to help you understand the gravity of that, in the general, there were about 230,000 Republican primary voters. So they just decided in the primary they're just not going to show up. In the general, there were 220,000. In the primary, there were only 10,000. 10,000 of 220 show up to the primary? It means you guys aren't even involved in politics.
They don't know politics. They don't understand, dude. People don't understand. The general public does not understand the importance of community primaries.
Correct.
And the grassroots elections that happen.
Correct.
They just don't understand it.
So, I mean, I lost by 800 votes, and everybody said, dude, you got to go for a smaller office.
Yeah.
You got to run for city council or run for mayor. That'd be great. You know, you're really articulate. We need somebody on the Republican side to run for mayor against Jacob Fry. I said, fuck you. I'm going up. I'm running statewide because I don't like the sample size. I think the fact that only 10,000 of you showed up for the primary tells me you guys aren't serious. I want to go up. Let's see what the statewide Minnesota Republican Party thinks. So I decided to run for Senate in 24 against Klobuchar. Win a statewide endorsement, then win a statewide primary against the entire Republican establishment. I cannot tell you from Minnesota and Minneapolis all the way to Washington, D.C., I had every Republican vertical lined up against me, and I still beat them in a primary. Shot heard around the world. Because what is said for the first time is a nationalist populist conspiracy theorist.
No, that's what they call you.
A nationalist populist conspiracy theorist could win a primary election with no funding, no support from the local establishment or the national establishment, and I didn't even have an endorsement from President Trump. Now, President Trump stayed out of my primary, which was helpful. He didn't endorse my opponent, which I'm sure they were lobbying hard for him to do. But he was wise enough to say, nah, this young kid Royce is something's up here. I'm not. Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Plus, Bannon endorsed me, and a lot of the other MAGA wing of the Republican Party, like Kerry Lake, and some of these people like that. So he stayed out of my race. But Norm Coleman, head of the RJC, the Republican Jewish Coalition, Rudy Boschwitz, senator, former U.S. senator, very heavy Israel himself, Tim Pawlenty, last Republican to win a statewide race, won governor's race, didn't do shit for conservatives, certainly can't be considered America first. All these people endorsed my primary opponent after I won an endorsement. Now, let me tell you how these endorsements work are you go to statewide convention, about 2,000 delegates of the Minnesota Republican Party are there. They're going to vote who they're going to endorse as the candidate, and then the party is supposed to consolidate around that candidate and support them going into the general election. You're not even supposed to face a primary, in theory, once you've been endorsed, especially when you've been endorsed at an overwhelming 68% on the first ballot. I was endorsed with 68% of the delegate vote on the first ballot. There wasn't even a second ballot. Most of these conventions go into third, fourth runoff ballots. The establishment still endorsed my opponent, spit right in the face of all the Republican delegates in Minnesota, and they weren't even shy about it. So it's been a war since then. I lost the election to Amy on paper. There's rumors that she was smurfing. The machines still aren't secure. We don't know what's really going on. Yeah. But on paper, I got more votes than any other Republican U.S. Senate candidate in the history of the Minnesota Republican Party, except Jason Lewis. And I'm running again in 26. I won't stop until we crack the dam, until we crack the levee. That's the story.
Yeah.
I don't know. How long was that? 15 minutes?
No, that's good, bro, because I think it's very important for people to hear that it's possible for someone to run without the endorsement or the financial backing that these candidates are traditionally getting. It's very, very important because one of the biggest things that people will say is, well, what the fuck should we do? Brother, where do you live? Get involved. Stand up. Organize your people. There's no reason, and to be honest, I think that most people are coming to the realization that they need to elect candidates that are not bankrolled by the typical bankrolling procedures.
Right.
And so we got to, I think it's important that they hear that from you. So
I think it's funny. They still call you a conspiracy theorist.
Yeah, of course I
fucking love
am.
it.
I am.
The
yeah,
2024
Michael, you
nominees.
say these are the types of candidates America needs. They're not bought and paid for. Brother, that's you too. That's you.
That's right.
That's you guys. There's plenty of people in this chat here and listening to this show that you're waiting for someone to tell you or approve you. This is no different than in your business. Nobody's coming to say, hey, man, fucking grow that business. You got what it takes. You know, it's you. Anyway.
Number one issue in this country, special interests and lobbies.
Yeah.
Special interests and lobby money.
Yeah.
All these politicians, for the most part, are bought and paid for.
Absolutely.
And we all know it. We know
Yeah.
what the problem is.
It's just a matter of to whom and how much.
That's right.
Yeah. 100%, dude.
So how's the campaign going so far for you?
It's a dogfight, man.
Yeah.
It's a fucking dogfight because, you know, money does play, right? I mean, money plays. There's a lot of people. I said this earlier on X. You know, we have an epidemic of selling out. People have a price.
Yeah.
And we say we don't want these candidates to sell out, but then we expect them to. A part of us expects a candidate to sell out.
Right.
Because we in our head, we think, well, in order for them to even make it,
There's no way.
They're going to need a lot of money.
Right.
Okay, who do people think you could go to? The conventional wisdom about a United States Senate race is that you need $20 to $30 million to even be competitive. Who do people think you go to get $20 or $30 million without selling a piece of your soul or this country?
The people who buy souls.
The people who buy souls. It's not rocket science.
Yeah.
And I've had them knock on my door. I had them call me. I've had them say, hey, don't talk about this. Don't talk about that. And we'll support you. And I tell them all, go fuck yourself.
Yeah.
And that makes it really hard to run a campaign. But the sacred honor helps me sleep at night.
Yeah.
And if we're ever going to turn this country around, that's what we need. And I only tell that whole story. I don't mean to carry on, but from the time I was 21 years old in the NBA up until my last campaign against Amy Klobuchar, it's the same people. No, seriously.
No, I get it.
It's the exact same group of special interests and lobbies.
It's been going on for
controlling
decades,
both
bro.
sides of the aisle,
Yeah.
too.
Oh, yeah.
Both sides of the aisle.
No one can get in unless you are part of the club on either side.
Right.
So,
Dude, nobody even talks about like the shit that happens once you do get in. You know what I'm saying? Like once you do get that Senate seat, you know, let's say you did raise $20 million in your campaign, right? Well, now you want to get on a committee. Well, those committee seats cost.
Yeah.
How you paying for them? Those are millions of dollars. How you paying for that? Well, now I got to go back to this special interest and lobby group again.
look, dude, people
You know,
got
it's
to
fucked, dude.
stop. They have to detach their party identities. They have to stop identifying as Democrat or Republican. Like, dude, if you just took the Republican or Democrat off of the fucking thing and said, this is what this person stands for, this is what this person, and put their policy on there, we'd have a much easier time getting people elected that should be elected.
Yeah.
But we all fall into the propaganda and the way the machine is designed, and it's designed around tribalism, around getting people to attach to their favorite team, no different than, you know, who was in the Super Bowl? Oh, Seahawks or Patriots. It's the same shit.
Right.
And we, the American people, have to get back to a time where we are electing people on policy, not on popularity or if there are our representative or our team, right?
Right.
And that's what's destroying this country. That's really what it is.
Dude, we saw
I mean, among a bunch of other things.
for
but
sure. I
yeah.
mean, that's a good place
That's
to
what's
start.
removing the power from the people.
Yeah, bro, because you will have people who will literally, openly, knowingly vote against their own interests simply because they don't like the other guy's letter in front of their name.
Or they don't
the
like,
man.
he said
You know,
one thing they didn't like.
Exactly.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like I said, but like your taxes about to go up. You ain't gonna be able to buy a
Yeah.
house. Like it
Yeah.
doesn't matter. Doesn't
It's
matter.
crazy, dude.
But he didn't win. That's all.
Yeah.
that matters.
That's the hardest thing about running a campaign. As a candidate, that's the most difficult thing.
Yeah.
In order to tell the truth, you run the risk of offending the people that you want to vote for you.
Yeah.
This is the heresy of democracy. I talk about this all the time, the four great heresies of the West. Scientific method, democracy, computer technology, and the fourth and final one will be artificial intelligence. Heresy of democracy, circa, 1300s in France. The heresy is that all majorities are made equal and righteous. What kind of stupid philosophy is that? All democratic majorities, all majorities are not made equal and righteous. In fact, if you look throughout history, the majority of majorities get it absolutely fucking wrong.
Not only that, it ends in the slaughter of fucking
That's
people.
right.
Yeah.
That's right. But our politics are set up in a way where
Yeah.
everybody's trying to pander to the people, and we're totally willing to trick them if necessary in order to win. I'm just not about that.
Yeah.
I'll tell you every little detail, nuance, whatever topic you want to talk about. I'll
That's
give
what
it to you
people
exactly
want.
what I think.
People want that. They want the
I don't know.
Now they're people,
Deeply want
I think
that.
there's. I think
On the surface, no.
I think a lot of people are waking up to that.
Yeah.
You might have been a little early.
Enough for President Trump to have won the last election.
Yeah.
And whether you like him or not, hate him, love him, disagree, question him, I do it as well on my show. But you can't deny that President Trump is the first politician, candidate, president to disrupt, upset the apple cart, and since JFK. Well, Reagan, you could say Reagan maybe, but they shot him too. Never forget,
Yeah.
and that was kind of conspicuous also. But Nixon was about to. He was trying to say some things, and I think Watergate was kind of an intelligence coup on Nixon in a way.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and then you had Reagan.
Yeah.
He got popped. He was saying some
Yeah,
shit, and then you get the Bush junta, the neoconservative wing of the Republican Party that's still running shit
still
today.
dealing with, right.
They're still running the intelligence community. They're
Yeah.
still running the military-industrial complex. These people are bad hombres. But President Trump was the first one to say a lot of things, and you got to give him credit for that, whether you like him or not.
Well, I think there's a lot of discontent with Trump right now. I'm frustrated with Trump right now.
Yeah.
I think most of our listeners are frustrated with Trump right now, but not because of anything else that we feel he's not being aggressive enough.
Amen.
Yeah, and that's
Go Max.
yeah, that's where we'll talk about it as we get into the show. But let's go ahead and get into the show, guys.
Yeah, let's do it, man. Glad
Yeah.
you're here.
Thank you, man.
It's gonna be good,
Thank you.
man. Well, seatbelts on, guys. It's time to cruise.
Yeah.
It's time to cruise, guys. You guys know how this works. We bring a headline in, we talk about it. If you guys would like to see any of these headlines, these videos, articles, links, go to andyfrisella.com. You guys can find them all linked there for you. That being said, let's get to headline one. Super Bowl. We got Super Bowl. We got to talk about Super Bowl.
Oh, okay.
Oh man, yeah, we got to talk about Super Bowl.
We're
dog.
talking about the dumbest shit in the world.
That's right.
Start
We got. Hey,
show.
well, no, we didn't. No, but we got to talk about it, man. This is a big contention piece here, and it has nothing to do with the two teams that actually played.
It's the bread and circuses, bro.
Bro. Well, so this is a CNN headline, and I'm going to show you guys this. This is how they're describing it. Bad Bunny's Super Bowl halftime performance redefined what it means to be an American patriot.
Okay, how?
Yeah, please enlighten me.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Yeah, and just over 13 minutes worth of music, stars and symbolism, Puerto Rican superstar Bad Bunny rewrote what it means to be American in a time of strife. And for those that maybe didn't get a chance to see the halftime performance, I have condensed it a little bit. Let's check it out.
Ay, 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 ay,
Yeah, that's pretty much it. That's pretty much it.
What's up with the shoulder pads?
I don't know, man.
Is that like a football thing he's doing
I
there?
don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, it was football, right?
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know, but that was pretty much it. But one piece, it's kind of divided everybody. Everybody's divided right now on this halftime
Everybody's
show.
divided by everything.
Yeah, it's just another thing.
I like peanut butter. Fuck you.
That's
I
right.
like jelly.
That's right. Oh, what kind of jelly? You grape or strawberry?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Fucking grape. Fuck you,
Yeah,
grape.
It's right.
Yeah.
It's right. And but one thing that did happen during this halftime show, as it redefines what it means to be an American patriot, was this slip up here. A new low for the NFL. Bad Bunny featured two men simulating sex, dry humping during halftime show. You see that?
No, I didn't.
Did you watch it at all?
No.
Did you watch it at all?
No.
No. Oh, so this is new for everybody.
Yeah.
All right.
I mean, I've seen the fucking internet today. That's all
Yeah.
people are talking about.
Yeah.
I mean, I forgot it was even on.
I will say this, right? I was actually expecting way more gay.
Okay, well, let's see.
It was 2 seconds. Here it is. This is the clip. 2 seconds. That's what you got.
Okay.
That was it.
Well, it's super gay.
Super gay.
Yeah.
All right.
Super gay.
Super
Yeah.
gay. I was expecting way more. All right. I was expecting way more. And so, I'll say this first. I'm glad it was just the 2 seconds. I knew, listen, you can't avoid that. They're gonna do it. They're gonna try it. This is probably about 7 minutes in or so. And dude, I remember watching this live. I was at my buddy's house. I was watching this live.
You got excited, didn't you?
No, dude, like we're sitting there, bro. And like as soon as this popped,
Got
I'm
yourself
like,
one of them game
I said,
owners.
oh man, that's right, that's right. But something interesting did happen, right? And so you had the Super Bowl. Everybody knows. I think it was actually streamed in every country. It was like the first time that's happened. Like it was streamed across the globe. So all eyes on America, right? You got Bad Bunny leading the halftime performance. And TPUSA took this opportunity to give an alternative to the Super Bowl halftime. Because I know it was like a lot of talk up, like Bad Bunny was wearing a dress and ICE was going to be there. It might have been this big spectacle. You know, the dude's an American citizen, I believe, to my knowledge. I think he is. It's
Puerto Rican.
Naturalized, yeah. I mean, 51st state, right? Whatever. And, you know, but TPUSA put their own thing on. And they had an all-American halftime show. And it actually did pretty well from all the stats and stuff that came in. And they had everybody there. I mean, they've had our good buddy, Brantley Gilbert was there. Kid Rock was there. He performed. And some of the data, they had about 5 million live, because they live streamed it. They had about 5 million people watching, right? During the NFL's halftime. About 5 million people were watching the TPUSA's All-American halftime show. And apparently it took it was like 22, it accounted for I forget the stats, like 20% of global views during that time were on TPUSA.
Huh.
Yeah, some crazy stats, dude. Crazy stats. So I don't know. I mean, thoughts, theories on any of this stuff, dude? What you say bread and circus. Was this a distraction? Was it just pointless shit?
I mean, I don't think it's a planned distraction. We have the Super Bowl every single year. I think sports in general provide, and I'm a sports guy, I like sports, but I think people sink way too much of their life into them to avoid having to confront realities that actually affect their lives. And the more that sports have started to morph into this political environment where they push messages, it's actually pushed me away from really being able to enjoy sports. And I was an athlete my whole life, you know? And so, you know, it's hard for me to look at the internet knowing what was just released last week and the information that is in those Epstein files, and to see people just go on with their normal life. That's frustrating for me to see. Regardless of Bad Bunny or Kid Rock or Brantley or anything, you know, that's where my frustration comes from. You know, ever since these sports have taken on these political identities, it's just started to not be cool for me to you know, if my friend's playing or I got somebody that's playing, I'll watch. But outside of that, dude, I don't even feel like a sports fan anymore. I used to go to games. I used to really care, you know, and my life was more fun whenever I was when I felt that way. But I don't feel that way anymore. And so you know, I was in the middle of other shit and someone texted me and was like, dude, are you watching this? And I'm like, what? I forgot that it was even on. So I think it's the controversy is being served up to get people distracted from a lot of the things that we've been talking about on the show and you've talked about on your show that are going on in the world. You know, the fraud, the ICE shit, the Epstein shit. Oh, look, fucking football. Yeah, right. You know, and
two dudes grinding.
Yeah, it's just, I'm just over it, dude. And I mean, aside from all that, I don't give a shit about either one of those teams. So
that's true.
I mean, it's
us Minnesota fans took one on the chin last night.
Yeah.
I mean, Sam Darnold, our quarterback from the year before, ends up winning.
Yeah,
that never feels
I'm happy
good.
For him.
Yeah,
he wins the Super Bowl on his fifth team.
That never feels good when your quarterback leaves, goes on to win the Super Bowl, and your team, you know, shits the bed for the year.
But you know, I've got friends that are in various sports that I watch, and I kind of watch for them, and it's kind of it for me.
Yeah, no, I think there's just a real paradox in American culture when it comes to sports, because as sports fans, we respect and revere excellence. We respect and revere excellence, and some things that we don't hold in a high regard in the rest of our culture anymore. It's just a complete. What we love about sports and what we've turned American society into are diametrically opposed.
Correct.
Meritocracy, excellence, mastery, skill. And then you have on the flip side of for everyday citizens and schools is participation medals, and we all have to we're all equal. In elite sports, we're not all fucking equal.
No, dude.
Matter of fact, none of us are equal.
I've talked about this exact example. I don't even know how many times over the years. It's like, dude, you guys will cheer for DEI and everybody's inclusion and this and that, but you won't say shit about it on your sport that you like to watch.
Right.
Because nobody wants to fucking watch that. Nobody wants to watch somebody who's half as good. It's not even reality. It's absurd to even discuss. And that's why it's so frustrating to watch it in other areas of the world. Like for years and years and years, like people, like you run a business, right? And you take a picture with your team and they would say, well, how come you don't have any gay people? Or how come you don't have the amount of black people that I want? Or how come you don't have the amount of trans people that it's like, motherfucker, I don't even notice that shit. Like I'm trying to win a fucking game.
Right.
And like when you're at a high level of competition, like you've been at, you don't look around at your team and think, fuck, dude, is the white guy going to fucking let me? You're like, fuck, is he good enough?
That's right.
Are we going to fucking win?
That's right.
And like,
You better hit this fucking shot, dude.
Yeah.
I don't care what your skin color is.
Dude, that's it.
Guard that motherfucker.
Yeah, and I think, that's why sports are such a good metaphor for life.
Right.
Right? Kids that grow up playing sports understand the reality of life.
Yes.
Right? There's idealism and then there's fucking reality.
Right.
And whether it's your business, whether it's a sports team, whether it's whatever, the best people are going to fucking play. And we can debate and we can say, oh, well, this and that and this. Get better, motherfucker. Like, I don't know what to tell you. And we've lived in this society so long where, like you said, we've rewarded kids for participation. We've told them they were special when they really weren't. We've told them that they're all unique and that everybody deserves to be equal. And that's just not the fucking truth. The guy, I watched this clip of Patrick Bet-David debating this like communist chick on TV.
Yeah.
At that show where
The
everybody's in a
Jubilee
circle
thing? Yeah,
and they run in. And she was like, and Patrick, is a successful entrepreneur. He's worked his whole life. I've known Patrick for a long time. He worked really fucking hard.
Good dude. Smart dude.
Yeah. Like he came here, he fucking worked. And that's all he's done his whole life. And you got this woman sitting in front of him saying, well, not everybody can be you. And he's like, well, you could have been if you would have made decisions that are different.
Yeah, if you weren't a communist libtard.
Yeah, bro.
Right.
They could not fucking understand. Like she could not understand what he was saying.
Yeah.
And it was just.
she was like, you don't know what it's like to make minimum wage. She's like, I've worked jobs for
He's
$4.
like, I worked at fucking Haagen-Dazs
Yeah.
for $4 fucking an hour, bro.
Exactly.
Like the problem is when people see that, they don't see the 20 years that put him there.
Right.
Just like you with basketball. They didn't see you fucking practice basketball when you're 4 years old on the fucking driveway, bro.
Right.
And do it every single day your whole life. My brother played professional sports. The motherfucker, that's all he did. That's all he did. His whole life was play baseball. That's all he did. Running around, having fun. No. Fucking baseball.
Yeah.
Throw, hit. Go in the basement, hit golf balls.
Hours,
bro,
relentless.
People do not, and then they
Obsessed. It's obsessed. You
Yes,
gotta be obsessed.
it's total obsession, and that's what it takes to win in business too. And people look at people and they say, "Well, I can't do that." Well, then fucking you ain't cut out to win, motherfucker. Like I don't know what to tell you. That's the reality of life. It's natural order. The strong survive and the weak perish. And no matter what arguments we want to make, no matter what idealism things that sound good. No matter, if it's fair or not, it doesn't matter. It doesn't even fucking matter. Like fair is not even a thing that is discussed at that level. It's not even, it's like, are you good enough or are you not?
Well, at the same time, yes.
Yeah.
I mean, the snowflaking is biblical. I mean, it's outrageous, the level of snowflaking.
But that person could have spent their entire lives becoming something else. And they chose
anything
not
they
to.
want to be. I mean,
Right.
but people are limited in what they can become. That's certainly
Well,
true.
for sure.
I
I'm
mean,
not playing the NBA.
Yeah, right. Right. You know, so I mean, and I'm not going to be a rocket scientist either. I wasn't great at math, but there is something to be said for justice, right? And I think they're conflating a lot of these liberals, certainly the communists and the leftists, certainly the feminists. I mean, my God, and their libtard boyfriends.
Yeah.
They're conflating justice with how they want things.
Right.
That's not the same.
That's right.
The idea of society needs justice.
Yep.
We have to have it.
Even Christian scripture supports that a society that doesn't execute justice is doomed.
Yeah.
So you need justice.
Yeah.
But justice isn't whatever I think it is on a given day.
That's right.
Justice isn't however I want it. It should go, or there's
Right.
been an injustice done to me.
Yeah.
That's just
And that's a whole nother
non-starter.
topic. What's a real injustice?
Yeah.
They can't.
Well, I'll tell you what a real injustice is.
I know.
A real injustice is being a Michael Jordan fan and simultaneously being an AOC voter. That's an injustice. That's an affront. Seriously, I don't know how the two things square.
Well,
how can you be a Michael Jordan fan and an AOC voter? The fundamental
they don't-
mentality about life is so polar opposite as to they shouldn't even be in the same universe.
They don't understand the process.
That's right.
They don't understand the process of greatness. They look at someone like Michael Jordan, or let's say, who's the greatest at something else?
Muhammad Ali.
Muhammad Ali. Okay. And you know what they think? Fucking dude, he came out of the vagina and Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
And when you talk to everybody else who knew Michael Jordan, and he was so competitive, his work ethic was so strong that his teammates actually fucking hated him until they won.
I love that.
It's the truth.
I love that.
And dude, you see it. You've seen the doc, right?
Yeah.
Like, dude, he's Michael Jordan sitting there, and he's being emotional because he's watching videos of other teammates that he loved. Okay, this is what people don't get about fucking greatness. Michael Jordan loved those motherfuckers. The motherfuckers that he was up their ass, that he was like on their ass all the time. He loved them. He saw greatness in them, and he was calling them to greatness. And people can't fucking tolerate that when you're dealing with someone who's a fucking maniacal, obsessed. This is the most important thing in the world. Even the greatest athletes have a hard time accepting that. Yeah. So he's sitting there, and I relate to this, dude, because I've had employees for a long time, and there's been a lot of them that, didn't work out. And it wasn't because I didn't like them or didn't believe in them, but they got tired of me beating up their fucking asses. And he's emotional because, like, dude, his intent was to make them great too, and they hate him for it still to this day. And that's fucking hard, man. That's a hard thing. Yeah. But at the end of the day, back to what we're talking about, they don't understand. People don't understand that, dude. They don't understand the process. They don't understand this rich guy. And are there cases of guys being chosen and getting funding and yeah, but
inheritance?
But bro, those people never become the greatest because they got shit. They were handicapped by the shit that they got.
It's such an interesting thing because it's never one way or another. That is true. And here's where I point out to liberals and Democrats, like when I'm on the campaign trail, I talk about politics. It is true that the corporate elites in our country, the banks, multinational,
unfair advantage.
It is true.
It's not even an advantage.
It's true that they're running anytime you have a merger of the corporation and the government, that's fascism.
Yeah, I know.
So we do have a proto-fascist system.
It's corporatism.
Yeah. So really, it's techno-feudalism. Yeah. But neither here nor there. They have done a grave injustice. They have run a Ponzi scheme. There's no doubt about that.
No,
the
fractional reserve banking.
It's a scheme. The problem with it though is the Democrats.
Anytime you could
and
take
the
$1
are the ones who ran it.
You could take $1 and fucking loan out $9 against it.
That's a problem.
That's a fucking scheme.
That's a problem. But my point is to these people, if they're so selective and they're so selective with their criticism, it's never coherent.
Right.
It's the same thing with the illegal immigration deal. That's a perfect example.
Right.
Well, when Obama said it was okay, well, that was Obama different. He's not a fascist. Nobody died. People didn't get shot. People did get shot. Well,
people did die.
He's not a racist. Well, okay. Now,
yeah.
The point is, when and I do think the money scheme is the most important political issue.
No doubt.
right?
No doubt.
So it is an injustice.
Yeah.
The taxes
Yeah.
are fucking ridiculous.
Dude.
It's absolutely the question, okay, so if you say the tax system is how the corporate elites are funneling money back to each other and stripping it from the working class, why on earth do Democrats continue to vote for a party that has the predominant support from the billionaire class?
Because they make people like me the fucking bad guy.
That's right.
And they say that I'm somewhere in the middle. I'm not one of them. I'm a guy who fucking started from scratch, who
Middle
built
market
a fucking
entrepreneur.
company. That's right.
Right.
We employ people. We provide careers in our community. We sponsor sports teams. We rebuild our communities. They look at people like that and they say, tax that motherfucker more.
Because
Okay?
they can see you.
But they don't understand
Yes.
that by taxing that guy more, he's actually not creating as many jobs. He's actually not able to grow his company. And if you're actually if what you think is true, that those people are ultra greedy and will just keep the money, then that even plays more into the fucking idea that they're going to grow their company so they can make more money. Like their whole fundamental understanding of it is completely fucked.
They miss Milton Friedman's
Yes.
free market capitalism.
Yes. Like if you really think that those middle guys who sponsor your kid's team and shit are too rich and you think that they're that greedy, then if you didn't tax them as much, wouldn't they go make more money and provide more jobs?
Well, but I will say this as a critique of the middle market.
Yeah.
The middle market, because a lot of middle market people are on loan,
Oh yeah.
right? They're in debt and they're
Yeah.
on loan.
Yeah.
And they have a bank and
They have to answer to them.
That's right.
That's right.
Okay, so a lot of them are disincentivized from organizing their middle market money politically.
Correct. No, because they won't get any money for the company.
There you go.
Bro, people
Right.
aren't.
So
Yeah,
it
see,
is.
we're debt free.
That's right.
See,
Well,
nobody fucking
But you're
owns,
a unicorn, though.
Nobody owns
You
me,
know you're
bro.
a unicorn
Dude,
in the middle
we're
market.
We're one of the biggest companies in the world that is not fucking does not carry debt.
You're a unicorn
Yeah.
in the middle market.
Yeah.
Most middle market need
I'll tell you how
working
big of a
capital
unicorn
loans.
it is. When they come in here, because we get shopped, people try to come in and buy the company and shit.
Yeah.
And we tell them that, they think we're lying. They think we're lying. They're like, oh, what are you talking about? No debt. I'm like, I don't know how to fucking explain this to you. Let me write it on the board. You know what I'm saying? Like,
No debt.
That's why it took 27 fucking years. And I didn't do it in 5 years.
That's why you talk like a badass.
Yeah.
Because you're a badass motherfucker.
Well, bro, like,
any middle market dude who doesn't have debt is a natural born badass.
well,
Yeah.
I mean, nobody ever gave me anything. And to be
Amen.
completely honest, I was never good being financially literate. When we were growing this company, we didn't really understand that we could have accelerated by taking debt. I was afraid of taking debt. And the reason I was afraid of it was because I know how fucking stupid I've been before where I fuck shit up. And the last thing I want to do is make a big boo-boo and owe a bunch of people money because then I can't pay. I don't want to do that. So you sacrifice velocity for security, and
Sacred honor.
right.
But a bunch of American business is predicated on
Absolutely.
the debt system.
Absolutely.
And even more so, it's predicated on I can take out a big, and this is probably the biggest contradiction in modern American politics. The most progressive president in the history of our country was responsible for the greatest transfer of wealth in the history of human civilization by bailing out the people who ran the Ponzi scheme. Barack Obama bailed out the banks in Wall Street after the 2009 financial crisis. And
Sure is, let them fucking.
Democrats just cannot reconcile how they still chant and cheer and throw rose petals at the feet of a man who was responsible for that type of scam.
Yeah, but that's just because he's well-spoken, bro, and he's charismatic. And he gets away with a lot of
He
shit
is.
because of that.
And his
No doubt.
husband's,
Bro,
you know,
when you watch fucking Barack Obama, okay, I know what Barack Obama has done. Okay, but when I watch him, and I'm also a pretty fucking damn good public speaker, so I pay attention to the other ones.
That motherfucker's good.
He's fucking,
good,
bro, he's one of the best ever.
Yes,
good.
he is.
And like I watch him, and even though I know what he's done, I watch him and I'm like, fuck. Like, I kind of like that dude.
Mhm.
He's got that Michael Jordan
Man.
of public speaking.
Yeah. And so people that don't know what he's done, it's very easy to be like, oh, like we saw it this weekend, we saw it.
Yep.
Everybody, because with that fucking video that came out, with that clip on the end of
the
it.
monkeys,
And
yeah.
everybody was like, oh, dude. By the way, Trump did that on purpose. I don't know if you guys are fucking not reading it right or what, but the entire video was about the fucking election fraud. And they've been screaming about election fraud for years. Nobody wants to listen to it. So how do you get people to pay attention to it? Oh, you throw in a fucking clip that gets everybody pissed off that you have deniability because it's part of another video.
Well played, Mr. President.
Dude,
right.
dude, and
Well
not a
played.
single motherfucker out there is like pointing that out. It's like, dude, what do you got? Like all the talking heads, all the people are like, oh, fucking, it's
He
like,
made the monkeys.
what the fuck are you talking about? He,
No, listen,
he had to get people to look at it.
The snowflake. Wait a second. The snowflaking in the whole race bait conversation is part of what pulled me into politics. I can't stand it. It makes me sick to my stomach. Seriously,
Bro,
you know, and with
everybody's over it.
with all due respect,
Yeah.
okay. Black people have been through some rough shit in this country. There's no doubt about it. Nobody denies it. Nobody with any sense denies
Nobody
that.
says. Nobody's even
But-
questioning that.
But black people have done a lot of self-inflicted harm, especially recently.
Continue to do.
Not only with cultural issues like hip hop that says, hey, kill the next guy just for no reason today.
Disrespect you.
Not even that.
Yeah.
Just kill him because, hey, I popped a perk and I'm feeling a little crazy this this evening. That's that's psychotic. It's demonic is
Yeah.
what it is. It really is.
I know, bro.
But voting for people like Barack Obama is also a self-inflicting wound in the black community because we are so gullible. The black community, and I'm fighting an uphill battle with this as a black Republican, and you're Uncle Tom. You're sitting with the money.
Yeah.
Don't tell me you're some freedom-fighting revolutionary Che Guevara type. AOC's wearing $130,000 couture dress to the Met Gala.
Yeah, that says fucking pay taxes on
And-
their
and
tax
did-
shit.
Did they bring any illegal immigrants into the Met Gala or the Grammys or the Oscars?
Or-
did they have a little special section for illegals?
Well, how about this? I mean, how many of
Don't
these,
they want to enjoy the show?
how
The
many-
foreign invaders?
How many illegal families do these people host?
Zero.
Oh, that's
that
right.
would be zero.
Yeah. And how many illegal families do the protesters in fucking Minnesota have in their homes?
That would be zero.
Oh, that's right.
No, actually, wait a second. Minnesota libtards are a special brand of
Okay.
libtard.
Well, let's just
These
say
people actually
let's just say it's a percentage.
they'll actually small, but
What's the percentage? The
you gotta
percentage
feel
is
awful that-
99% of these people are totally full of shit.
True.
And that is why you cannot allow them to morally manipulate you like you're some bad person. They're full of shit. They know you're a good person, and they're trying to manipulate your good heart to fucking advance their agenda.
You're making the argument though for President Trump to go max, and
Well, that's what everybody wants, bro.
well, no. Well, hold on. Let's be clear about it. I want to be. We want it.
Yeah.
People in this audience may want it. A good portion of the MAGA movement and America First movement want it, but there's about I don't know. I'd say a good 25 to 30% of plumb line, milquetoast moderate Republicans that like Nikki Haley or the Mitt Romney folks or
Lindsey
they're super Israel first
Oh, yeah.
that do not want President Trump to go. Look at Tim Scott, you rhino cuck motherfucker, Tim Scott. Can you believe that he goes, oh, this is the most racist thing that's
can't
come
believe
out
it.
of the White House?
Yeah, yeah.
Are you kidding me? Are you kidding?
Depends on who you ask.
Tim Scott. I mean, but again,
I mean, I personally found it racist when you got Joe Biden and Kamala Harris standing up saying that white men are the biggest fucking problem in America. I think that's pretty fucking racist.
that's horrendous to say.
Yeah. And I mean, they're saying it on television over and over and over again for an entire political campaign. I think that's pretty fucking racist.
Super.
Yeah.
It should be.
I'm not offended by it because I don't get fucking offended. And I'm
Right.
like, whatever. I
'Cause
don't
you're a
give a
man.
shit. But like,
in a normal society, something like that wouldn't even be acceptable to say.
no, it's because, dude, if you go back to 2000, like the year 2000 or 2005, motherfucker, we were over all this shit. You couldn't fucking say that shit. Everybody was getting along. And then all of a sudden, bro, Soros got his shit going here. And now look what the fuck's going on. It's the same shit he's done everywhere.
Yeah.
Anyway,
That's real, man. That's real. Let's
bro, I'm glad you came on the show, man.
I love it, man.
Super glad.
Hey, you're the man.
Bro, no.
I got the tour before the show.
No,
we,
dude, like,
we got to talk afterward. You're a badass dude. No, seriously, this country was built, intended to be a nation of shopkeepers and agrarian farmers, middle market entrepreneurs, independent businessmen, And the fact that you have a business this big with no debt, you're a fucking unicorn, but you are
It's getting harder to navigate because we're getting into that bigger piece, the bigger business.
Oh, and they're gonna come with the sellout.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's coming. I just saw the other day.
I love my people though, bro. I love this fucking company. I love what I do every day. I've seen so many entrepreneurs sell their companies because look, dude, I'm just being real. I'm not trying to be arrogant. I don't need the money. They sell their purpose, and I've seen so many people sell their company thinking that the money is going to replace that purpose, and it just never will for me. Like I love fucking coming in here. I love solving problems with these people. I love fucking seeing them get better. I love seeing them like develop and grow and sometimes go on to other things. I love that shit. And I feel like that's what I'm here to do. You know what I mean? And dude, no amount of money could replace that for me, especially when I live a pretty fucking good life. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
amen.
Anyway,
Yeah.
I probably wouldn't feel that way if I hadn't have seen so many people go through that.
Yeah.
You know?
It's real, bro.
Anyway, we got another topic.
Yeah, we got to keep cruising, man. We got headline 2. Let's go up to Minnesota, shall we?
Let's do it.
Let's dive in on this. We covered a little bit of it, but I thought this was interesting. We've been covering this on the show for weeks now, man. Looking at it, and I think we've kind of come to a pretty good consensus, and I would love your take on it. But like, you know, I believe that they're continuing the ICE riots and the protests and stuff. It's a major cover up
For the fraud.
Yeah,
for the fucking
100%.
fraud, dude. And that's really what we
You
wanna
seen
get
it that way
into.
too?
Do the American people even care if they're being robbed though? Like I'm getting kind of cynical, and I'm still optimistic. But back to what you said about athletes.
Yeah.
Let's be real.
Yeah.
Okay, when I'm being real, like if I'm sitting at home at night and I got on MSNBC and I'm watching Rachel Maddow, you know, give the gameplay, you know, call the shots for the entire neoliberal establishment, the entire world order, and that's who she is. She's one of the brainchild.
People don't understand what you're saying. Make no mistake about it. When you watch Fox or you watch CNBC or you watch CNN, these are people who are put on television to call the play.
Yes.
This is how you're supposed to feel.
It's not just entertainment.
It's not news either. This is how you're supposed to feel.
Right.
Dude, there was some crazy stat, not to cut you off. I think it was like in the 80s or 90s that like 70% of all the news anchors were actual CIA operatives.
Yes.
Bro. Yes.
Yes.
Like that's crazy. Like,
Yeah.
what?
But this is what I'm saying.
That's what?
To my apropos to what I'm saying.
That's crazy.
When I'm sitting there at night and I'm watching this shit, and I got my notebook out, and you know I got my notes, and I'm doing my political thing. I always revert back to, you get the government you deserve. You get the government you deserve, and by God, we all will. And we, the people, have to at some point say enough is enough. And I just don't think we've got. Here's the bottleneck that we're facing now. Convenience is the crisis in our society. Like you were saying about how we've made kids soft.
Yeah.
We have made our society convenient writ large, just culturally,
Yeah,
globally.
bro.
Right?
Look, dude, you could order a pizza and be there in 15
Yes.
minutes. You could fucking talk to your friends across the world without getting on an airplane. You could text. And dude, to people that don't have the perspective that we would have before all that shit, they can't see it any other way.
No doubt.
Right?
No
So
doubt.
when we talk about like what you're saying about, like you say, do people give a fuck about the fraud? Well, the only reason
I don't know if they do, bro.
bro, but the reason they don't,
The high is too good.
they don't know how much better their life could be without it.
Amen.
They don't understand. They don't understand
Because
that
this is just the way it is.
bro, they don't understand that like you wouldn't have that problem paying your fucking rent. You wouldn't have that problem going to dinner with your girl once in a while. You wouldn't be embarrassed about having to, shop at the thrift store, whatever you got to do. Like, dude, this would solve people just don't understand.
Well, but this reverts back. This is where it gets real. I mean, there's just such a fine needle to thread.
And the people selling the message are making money selling it.
Well, that too.
Fuck.
Big money. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, and like I say about the Fed, and I say, do people care about getting robbed?
Yeah.
Right? Imagine somebody comes in. I said this on my show 2 days ago. Imagine somebody comes into your house at night, takes your wallet or purse out, robs you of all your cash, comes back the next day and says, you got to pay back the money I stole with interest. With interest. You have to pay me back money I stole from you with interest. That's what the Fed has done to us.
Dude.
Okay,
And people say, oh, taxation is theft. No, the fuck it isn't. It's fucking extortion.
That's right.
Because don't pay it.
Yeah.
And they make you pay. But they're still in it, and
It's
they're going
do
to make
this
you pay back
or that.
They're going to make you pay back the VIG on an inflated number, that a price that they've set. Is straight mafia shit,
Bro.
And so
Look at property tax.
Oh, they don't raise property tax, but your
You
house
don't even
value
own your
goes up.
shit. You don't even own your fucking shit, bro.
Yeah.
So I think to myself, I go, okay, when are people going to actually say enough is enough? And this is where it gets complicated because, again, in order for people to even have a starting point where they would be offended by the taxation, or they would be offended at the prospect of being stolen from their central bank, you would have had a generations consistency of American civics, what it means to be a citizen. So we have to get back to those basic political terms where
Absolutely.
what is to be a citizen? What does sovereignty mean? What does it mean to be economically independent? And so where these things have been lost, going down the fucking memory
Intentionally
hole.
lost, yeah.
Well, yeah, intentionally confiscated, you could say. They've gone down the memory hole. Now people's only political identity is transgender, I'm a woman, I'm black, I'm Jewish, I'm Christian, I'm Muslim.
Yeah.
These are the only things that they can even
Total
identify
identity
with,
politics.
which is why the border,
Yeah.
to your point about the raids, to tie it in, the border has become a proxy for all other identity politics. It's not even about the border because nobody can even give you a sane or logical argument about the border itself.
Yeah.
You have to have a border. If you don't have a border, you don't have a country. If you don't have a country, you don't have citizenship. If you don't have citizenship, you don't have rights. You don't have human rights. You don't have women's rights. You don't have gay rights.
Yeah.
You don't have rights, civil rights. You don't have rights if you don't have a country. These are fundamentals that were not unintentionally
Well,
taken
brother,
from
they
us.
understand it. Or otherwise, they wouldn't be building fucking forts in the middle of the fucking street saying, keep the fuck out.
That's right. That's right.
That's right.
Yeah.
Right. That's right. So, I mean, as far as the ICE raids go, I mean, I just think it's probably one of the greatest psyops. The whole illegal immigration argument and debate might be one of the greatest psyops in American history because I don't even understand the argument.
There is no argument.
There is no argument. No, this is one of those things where, but it's also, but you got to think. We think of it like this from a lot. Again, you're making the point for President Trump to start arresting judges.
Yes.
To start arresting some of these elites.
Yes.
To start arresting some of these mayors and governors. He needs to go, and people are going to say, well, wait a second. I mean, he's not, listen, if you get to a place in your society where given a prepubescent kid, hormone blockers is acceptable, and then you get down the, okay, fine. You guys got some weird kinky view about mutilating our children. We totally disagree with it, and we should do everything we can to stop that. But it proves the point that you're disanchored from reality when we get to the next argument and you say there's no such thing as illegal on stolen land. Okay, so now we realize you guys have a thread of ideas that is completely detached from reality. We cannot, and you can have them because this is America. You can have whatever ideas you want. We're just not following you. We're not following you, and we sure as hell aren't going to let you govern. And any of these conservatives, like Tim Scott and the rest of the Mitch McConnell's band of running dogs, the NRSC, and of course they come and recruit sideline doll Michelle Tafoya, who's pro-choice and about ankle deep on any of these issues. There's no substance whatsoever because you don't survive in 30 years as a sideline reporter unless you say absolutely nothing controversial.
Right.
You get fired if you say anything dangerous. These conservatives that think, even hesitate that President Trump should go max when we have a cultural crisis and psychological rot at this level, throw him in with the communists.
Throw him in there.
Arrest
bro,
them
I
too.
agree. Yeah,
Arrest them too.
that's-
God wills it.
That's where Trump's
with
getting his fracture.
Right.
Is from not doing that.
Yeah,
Right.
bro.
You know, everybody's fucking pissed off. They're pissed off about him sucking fucking Netanyahu's dick.
Yeah.
They're pissed off about our money going everywhere, and they're pissed off about him coming in and being like, "Oh, you know, it's the greatest time of all time, or the golden age, motherfucker." Dude, I don't know. Like, when was the last time you went to fucking, you know, and visited some people that are actual people? Like, when was the last time you talked to them? Because they won't tell you that it's the golden age. They won't tell you that. So,
No.
you know,
No.
there's my opinion politically, like because I have a more extreme opinion of what needs to happen. But let's just say that we're in a recoverable state, which I'm not sure that we are, but let's say we are for argument of discussion. He has to fucking make those arrests and he has to hold accountability, or he has there's no chance of those midterms happening. Nobody will show up. They won't show up. So,
well, and two things. One is I'm going to say finally, because every time I see this ICE raids headline, I get dizzy thinking about how stupid these people are. But these liberal women in Minnesota are the bane of our existence. But there are actually a lot of liberal-esque women, liberal-leaning type women on the conservative side, and that's where you get your Mitt Romneys, who are just about as cucked as any you know, center-left Democrats you find. At the same time, I hate scapegoats. It's my pet peeve, and I do get the sense that President Trump, just like with the left, has become somewhat of a scapegoat on the right. Not to say that we shouldn't be critical, because I'm the first one to say if we do anything in Iran, again, if there's one more thing done in Iran, I'm going to lose my shit. You know, if they want to do greater Israel, they can do it on their own. My opinion, let the Persians deal with the mullahs. Let the Persians be Persians. But if Republicans don't understand that MAGA, making America great again, making America great always, America first, is not a political philosophy or movement that they can choose to participate in or not. They just have to force the issue. They have to move the Overton window, if necessary, by force. That happens by showing up. Like in Minnesota, it was just the caucuses on February 3rd. If you didn't come to caucus, you're not going to be a part of the process because by the primaries in America, and Eric Weinstein said this the best I've ever heard. The primaries all across the country are intended to prune both political parties of the populist candidates. So what they do is they have a bunch of party insiders on both sides of the aisle that strip the party of the candidates that actually would challenge the status quo before they ever make it to a general election.
Right.
And so most people don't understand that by not being involved in that process, from caucus up to the endorsement and then the primary, the whole game is it's like right now, the SAVE Act is like, oh, well, we need to pass the SAVE Act. Motherfucker, they're already early voting in some states.
Yeah.
The time for the SAVE Act was yesteryear.
Yeah.
Okay, so we missed that because people do not even understand how the process works. And with all due respect to President Trump as well, and I know he's battling a lot, and you know, you got world wars breaking out while he's also trying to get a hold of these elections, and you got this Epstein file thing that doesn't bode favorably for him either, you know, to be quite just optics.
Yeah.
Now, I don't think he was guilty of a crime in it,
Well,
because if he was, surely Rachel Maddow would run a 24/7 cycle that President Trump should be convicted on those charges.
Yeah.
They're not doing that for a reason. Yeah. But it's still an indictment of him that he was even involved with Epstein to some degree. And everybody else up and down the line, some of them are child sex traffickers. And we need to parse that out, and we need that shit unredacted so we can figure out who's who.
That's right.
Point being, though, even President Trump, and this is his spiritual burden to bear at this moment in history, because I do think that he's been given a divine mission. But just because you've been given a divine mission doesn't mean you're going to make the right choices. God's still going to let you make those choices. Like King David, in the scripture it says, King David is a man after the Lord's own heart, but he was covetous. He sent one of his generals off to war so he could bang the wife. I mean, this is right out of scripture, right?
Right.
But he was still a man after the Lord's own heart. So President Trump has been, you know, touched by, you know, a divine calling. He still has to make those choices. And one of those choices for him, personally, I believe, with this all due respect, Mr. President, is he believes in his own ability to cut deals. And so he has to overcome his own ego about being able to facilitate deals in order to get to a place where he can go max and not care what the public says about it.
Yeah.
That's his mountain to climb right now.
There's also...
And I'm pushing you there. I'm right there behind you, pushing you up that mountain.
Yeah.
Fuck these people. Go max.
Dude, do we have the Epstein shit in here?
Yeah, it's
okay, that's the third topic?
Yep.
All right. Because I got a lot of shit to say about that.
Yeah, go ahead, man.
But
we'll save it. Yeah. No, it's real. I do want to get into the fraud though up there because I think this is the cover up, man. I think
$100 billion when it's all said and done. $100 billion.
At least.
At least.
At least, dude.
In one city, in one program.
That's one city.
But people of Minnesota, let me tell you about Minnesota.
Yeah.
I just want to give you an insight into Minnesota culture. In old Scandinavia, and my grandmother came from Norway, so I understand the transition that Scandinavians had from the Viking warrior culture to the what they call Jante culture. Jante was a more post-Enlightenment Scandinavian culture where they had formed these communities where they didn't like conflict. They especially didn't like conflict about ideology or politics. And there's an entire law of Jante. You can look it up. If you're out there in the audience, look up the law of Jante. It's a political theory, but it's real. And it's what now is called Minnesota nice. People in Minnesota on both sides of the aisle, they don't like confrontation. This was a
They're like Canadians.
Yes, but this is something that the Norwegian and the Scandinavian cultures did because the winters were harsh. They had to scrape and claw to get the food gathered that they needed, and they had to worry about the neighboring village or tribe coming to kill them. So they didn't have time to scuffle internally. So their answer to that wasn't, we're going to become a battle-hardened warrior culture like the Spartans. No, we just don't have time for any arguments.
Right.
We don't want any individuality. We want collectivism. A collectivism will help safeguard us from the outside threats. That's why Minnesota is the belly of the fucking beast. Academic philosophy, government fraud, the brainwashing about illegal immigration. In Minnesota, you are looking at an epicenter of people who don't mind getting robbed. And they're going to show us in these midterms. They're already showing us now, but trust me when I tell you, when these midterms...
That makes sense.
No, it makes perfect sense.
It's called Minnesota nice.
Yeah.
Have you ever heard of Minnesota nice? You probably have. But people in Minnesota or been to Minnesota know, oh, Minnesota nice. All it is Jante culture. We don't want people to stand out. We don't want too much controversy. We just, and it's prime for people to go along with the get along. You could steal 100. Why do you think the $100 billion fraud happened there? Because the Minnesotans are susceptible to accepting that type of theft.
Right.
How could you ever go back and vote for the? I could see you abstaining your vote. I could see you saying, you know what, I'm out if I'm a Democrat. But for you to cast a ballot for Amy Klobuchar running for governor, or Peggy Flanagan, who was the lieutenant who's now running against me for U.S. Senate, these people were a part of the fraud. In fact, Amy Klobuchar prosecuted a statewide daycare fraud in the Hmong community back in 2003. And you mean to tell me this $100 billion fraud happened and she never
They
once
don't know about it?
She never once called over to the governor and said, hey, man, this is how they run that. She told them how to do it.
Yeah. Why
That's my
prosecute them
opinion.
when you can make money off of
There
it?
you go.
Yeah.
Kickback
No, come on,
City.
man.
Yeah.
Yeah, the shit's crazy, and more
100
fraud
billion.
keeps coming out day and day. These fraud tourists, they just pled guilty to a new Medicaid scheme. It was two men from Philadelphia admitted their roles in a $3.5 million scheme involving Minnesota's Housing Stability Services program. Another woman just sentenced to prison for stealing $325,000 in SNAP benefits. It's just one woman, right? It keeps coming out. Now, in more recent news, this report just came out that simply on one policy alone, up to $1 billion.
Wow.
Just because of some language in one policy that affected 14 services. That was it. That was it. And this just came out. And that's just one piece. They actually revealed that it was a total of about $9.4 billion in 14 Medicaid programs that were deemed high risk. The report, we have it linked for you guys online. It's all there. But here's my question, dude. Like, I mean, because we kind of got into it, man.
Yeah.
And you explained the Minnesota nice side of it, right?
Yeah.
But it's like, I'm still trying to understand why more people are not upset at our taxpayer dollars just being fucking just gone, right? And like, I'm thinking about this and like, okay, well, could it be part of it? Is that because most people are not really truly paying into it? You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a lot of people that are just
Aren't paying their taxes?
yeah, right. Like, is that a part of it?
I think when people think about,
You know what I'm saying?
I think when they think about fraud, they don't make the connection that that's like their money.
Yeah.
I think people don't do that.
Yeah.
I think when they hear this, what they're actually hearing is like rich people are being scammed. That's what they're hearing. Like, they're not hearing that it's their household or their money, or, you know, like, they don't understand that even if the rich people are being scammed, that's money that should be spent on their well-being. They're not connecting those two things.
Right.
Well, yes. And again, it goes back to Hence why I brought people to the Fed after George Floyd died.
Yeah.
Right? Because
yeah.
the culture issues, the cultural wedge issues are WWE. The whole, not to say that there aren't real cultural issues.
Right.
But what I'm saying is that the disproportionate amount of time that's spent on the cultural issues, like hence the Bad Bunny thing versus the fraud in Minnesota or the Epstein files, tells you that people have displaced priorities.
Yeah, or the central banking system that robs us blind our whole entire lives.
But people don't even. It's two.
But
things.
how do you get someone to understand that? Like
you got to start with a child,
bro. You got.
You can't start
with go back to slavery.
Yeah.
Okay. How do you convince a slave who has, because this is fucking slavery in a different form,
wage slavery?
Okay.
Right.
How do you convince someone that's been enslaved? They were born into slavery. Okay. It's been their whole life. They don't understand anything other than this is what I was born into. This, to have a conversation with that person and say, hey, it's not supposed to be this way, dude. They're looking at you like, the fuck are you talking about? This is what I've always known. This is just the way that it is.
Hey, man, you better watch out. I got to go pick this shit, man. You guys get me in trouble. Now.
It's like explaining color.
Be whipped.
That's right.
It's
That's
explaining color to someone who's blind.
Yeah.
It's a very hard thing to make people understand.
Well, I do say, and I will say this. Yes, we're 1,000% right. People are born into this, especially in economics. People don't even have the rudimentaries of how finance works.
Right.
Right. And you tell, like, if you were to tell somebody how your business works, they'd look at you like you got three eyes. Right?
Yeah.
Same thing with monetary policy.
Right.
It's always the buried lead. So the mainstream media is helping cover it up.
Correct.
They never teach you it in school. Right? Because
no.
why would we want you to know how the money works?
Not only do they not teach you at school, they handicap you intentionally so that you become a debt slave.
That's right. The whole thing, the entire public school system is a factory for debt slaves.
1,000%.
But at the same time, I always go back to the people, because there is a part of us in our American culture that intuits. We have an intuition that something's gravely wrong.
Yeah.
And where that little piece of us exists, there's more upside for riding the wave, the rise of all tides, so to speak, the rise of the baseline material wealth. And there is a rise of baseline material wealth in this country that is on the same trajectory as the scam, which makes it even harder for people to connect with it, because they're going, shit, 10 years ago, the appliances in my bathroom were porcelain. Now they're glass or stainless steel, right? So as you get those little, and see the elites, this is how slick they are. If they can make the PlayStation or the iPhone or the internet or the appliances at your home or the amenities in your apartment complex just a little better, gradually, you won't get mad if they steal from you.
They make you think it's better.
That's right.
Okay, this goes into fucking brutalism and structural design and architecture as well. You know, look at the architecture from 100 years ago versus now. Anybody that you showed it to would say, well, clearly it was better then. But little by little along the way, they do exactly what you're saying.
Yes.
Look how cool this is. Look at this beautiful glass building with no soul and these technology, and they convince you that it's better when it's not really better, and you can't identify it until you look back and say, fuck, dude, when I bought a fridge back in the fucking 80s, that motherfucker lasts 40 years.
Oh, dude, I just went through that.
Yeah, I know you did.
I just fucking went through that.
Now I got to replace them every 3 because they look cool.
Yeah.
So, but and at the same time, I'm still optimistic to some degree, because with all of that downward pressure from the media industrial complex and what they're feeding us and, you know, what they're selling at the public schools, with all of that being said, more people than ever are starting to wake up and question
Absolutely.
things. The problem with it is we're so late to the game, they can throw these little stones in the water, drop these rocks, these boulders in the water, and it creates a ripple where people have they lose focus really quick on the plot. They lose the plot real quick.
We're attention whores, bro.
Right. So in that sense, the conspiracy theory
It's not
thing
just
does
that.
become a problem.
When you condition people to fucking starve, you can make them think that they're at a feast by giving them a fucking cracker.
Yeah.
Okay?
Right.
Oh man. Yeah. Dude, what's your take? What's the end result up in Minnesota when it comes to this fraud shit? Is Tim Walz going to jail?
He sure as hell should be.
Well, we're going to get to that in the next topic.
He sure as
that'll be
hell
the next
should
topic.
He sure as hell should be. I don't think so. Look, I think people see President Trump as a political monolith to some degree, and they think that he can snap his fingers and make things happen. And in some sense he can, but at the same time, there are agencies and the DOJ being one of them, right? And I'm not a huge fan of Pam Bondi.
I'm not either.
I think that she's, you know,
I think she's at the very best, she's incompetent.
I'm about to say, I think she might be retarded.
Well, I'm just saying, at her best, she's incompetent.
she is your prototypical institutionalist, middle of the road conservative woman who spent a lifetime in the legal system, which has been liberalized over 30 years.
Yeah.
Right. And so she believes in the institution, and she believes that there's a way to do this that doesn't ruffle any feathers. She thinks there's a logical way to win the argument.
Right.
This is part of the problem with the entire conservative movement. Everybody thinks it's some type of intellectual highbrow debate. At some point in time, you got to be ready to ball your fist up and just break the other dude's jaw.
Yeah.
Bro.
I don't know, because I'm a mixed martial artist. I kind of think that, we could debate, but at some point, and this is speaking to Pam Bondi metaphorically, break their jaw. I mean, don't even, because they will do it to you. They try to throw President Trump in prison for the rest of his life.
That right there is why people are saying that Trump is bought and paid for, because they just watched him go through all this shit,
Get shot.
and now he's up there and he's playing with fucking kitty gloves on, pacifying the political structure,
Pulling ICE agents out of
the
Minnesota.
reason he's doing it is because Trump still believes that the foundational structure of America can be saved through the channels, and that's false right now. That's not real.
Right.
We have a fucking problem in this country that can only be solved through force. Okay, violence is the gold standard of fucking every language. Okay, certain people, and by the way, if they don't drop the hammer, there will be mass violence eventually. That is what's happened historically.
Against us.
Against us and them, because we're going to give it back.
True.
Yeah, but yes, 100%.
Well, but I always go back to this, and we got to be very careful here, because never forget, and we just experienced this up in Minnesota. And remember, George Floyd, 2020, George Floyd wasn't a saintly figure by any means. But I did think what Derek Chauvin did was wrong. His prosecution was political, and the fact that the governor and mayor made public statements made it impossible for him to have a fair trial.
Yeah,
that's just factual.
Yeah. No.
Okay, but my point in even bringing that up is this: a pillar of the conservative movement is this thin blue line deal. Look at how many cops sided with these Democrat traitors on this immigration argument up in Minnesota. It blew my mind.
Well,
and
bro,
look what they did
80% of them.
during
Wait a
COVID.
second. 80% of them took the shot.
Yeah.
The cops. 80% of the military took the shot. This tells me one thing: our law enforcement and our military are the best of us. They're the people who have the best relationship with reality, because what they do every day.
That's right.
So we should respect them, and I do. I love hanging out with military guys, because they just know what real is real, right? In the fog of war, real becomes more real than you can experience at home, everyday life. But they have their own crisis of being led by the institution. So I'm not so sure that if the Democrats take back power, and then you also got to realize that the post-World War II Democrat liberal order has always placed a high premium on the military-industrial complex. So it's greasing their palms, which is why you get so many former military guys that they put into these offices, like Dan Crenshaw, who stab us in the back, but he's a Navy man. So I'm just saying, if we let the Democrats take over,
we've already learned that lesson. We learned it during
they're
COVID.
going to militarize their agenda this time. They're not going to play
100%,
around.
and that's why people are fucking pissed at Trump.
Yeah.
They understand what you're saying, because they just went through COVID, and we saw motherfuckers get arrested for being at the fucking beach. Okay, we saw that, and it's an unfair position for the police and the military to be in, because they're being threatened with their livelihoods to follow orders. And at some point in time, there's going to come a time for the police and military where they have to honestly ask themselves, what do I actually believe in? Why did I take this oath? And what do I stand for? And that's a very, very important thing for people to do if you're one of these people.
Our military and our police have become a victim of Marxism.
Yeah.
reducing the human existence down to price.
Yeah.
Even our military veterans with their pensions and their retirement and our law
VA
enforcement
benefits.
officers with the benefit. Right.
Yeah.
They are incentivized as well by the call to survival economically
For their own families.
which means the people who control the flow of money control them.
Correct.
And sacred honor. This, how am I going to ask? And think of this. And this is what I'm saying. I'm just trying to be real.
Yeah.
All right.
It's real AF, right?
I'm just trying to be real.
Good,
No,
right?
bro.
Good.
Like,
I
that's what
love
we
our
do.
military. I love
Yeah.
our police officers. They get a raw deal. That's why I didn't bring people to the police representative. I said the Federal Reserve. These people are working class people. But how am I supposed to expect some 18-year-old girl who watches TikTok all day and has been brainwashed with feminism since the first day she stepped into school to have any sacred honor if our 20-year naval vets still brag about going over into a war that we should have never been at in the first place?
Yeah.
How can I expect this 20-year-old girl, this 20-year-old white liberal suburban, for lack of a better term, mentally impaired, right? She's brainwashed. How can I expect her to have any type of relationship with sacred honor, an idea like sacred honor,
Yeah.
if General Milley's backstabbing President Trump and talking to the Chinese?
Yeah.
Right.
You know, so you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do.
And
It's a problem.
That's dark,
Yeah.
but it's fixable. Because I think if you get it, this is where leadership is important. It's a crisis of leadership. It's a failure of citizenship, but a crisis of leadership. The citizens aren't going to rise to the occasion in this sense. Technology's too good. The high is too good. But you can have leaders from the top down that start to fundamentally change the culture. Just like in the neighborhood, one person can do a disproportionate amount of damage. In politics, one person can have a disproportionate influence on the trajectory of things. Where President Trump, again, needs to go max. But some of these military people in here, and even law enforcement, like the mayor here in Minneapolis, I mean, you guys got to have some sacred honor. And if you don't, it's incumbent upon somebody higher than you to drop the hammer on your ass.
Yeah.
And you know, it has to come to that ultimately because, again, our national mortal enemies, they're not having this problem.
Yeah.
China, not having this problem.
No.
We are losing a war with China, right? They're laughing at us.
We're not losing a war to China. We're losing a war to ourselves.
True. But
Yeah.
what I'm saying is the Chinese,
100%.
they are they are much older civilization than ours, and they're much more patient. Their culture is patience, and they view themselves as divine. They view they're very ethno-national. They view the Chinese race as a supreme race.
Well, they're not the only ones.
These people, first of all, they view that they owe us too from World War II. Despite their feud with the Japanese and their hatred for the Japanese, that's still their part of the world. They view they owe us too, okay? They owe us from the Opium Wars. That's why you got fentanyl flooding your streets through Mexican proxies. These people are waiting for us to collapse. And see, Xi and the China, they're smart because they're saying, we're going to hold the power base together by totalitarian means as long as we continue to, elucidate what appears to be a rising China from when we went in the 70s with Kissinger. The Chinese people, for the most part, will not revolt. That's how Xi could become president for life and have full-blown surveillance in their elections. You can't even vote in China the way you want to without the government knowing about it.
Yeah, and who's going to vote against that?
Exactly,
Right.
right? So they have this shit sorted out in the crash course, in the collision course with us. And this is, I tell people this all the time. Yes, America first, but we also have to consider our enemies and how we go about America first. Because you get all these libertarians, right? Like Massey. And I like Massey. I love his debt clock. I think Massey says a lot of things that are right. He's got more stones than a lot of the people in the Congress, and I don't like the feud between him and President Trump.
Yeah.
I feel like it's more personal than it is political because Rand Paul was the President Trump of, and we ran Mitt Romney instead. I mean, what an indictment of the Republican Party. Okay, but Massey, answer me this question, brother. And I've asked him, I've sent a message to his team, answer me this question. If you're telling me that the Congress is 90% plus, 95% plus bought and paid for by AIPAC and Israel's influence, how are you going to tell the president to go to that same Congress to take military action? See, there's all these constitutionalists in there now from the libertarian wing that are saying, well, hold on, President Trump, even Rand, And I like Rand. I think he's a little squishy. His father was better, but Rand is a good one to an extent. And then he comes out, well, they shouldn't wear masks. The ICE agents shouldn't be wearing masks. And I get it, but you only can make that comment if you have no consideration at all about what we face across the water. And the fact that how is it? And again, I'm not being hypercritical of Rand and Thomas Massey, but how is it that Rand spent 2 decades in politics there from Kentucky, and somehow Mitch McConnell comes out of there too?
Yeah, that doesn't make sense.
How is it that who votes for Massey, Rand Paul, and Mitch McConnell?
Nobody.
So the people in Kentucky must be just as fucked up as the people in Minnesota. So or it's not real.
That's right.
Okay, now we're getting there. So my point is, they're responsible for President Trump's need to go max. So I don't want to hear this from any Republicans or Democrats. Oh, he's violating the Constitution. You all didn't defend the Constitution when we could have applied the Constitution more practically. Now, the Constitution is so blown out.
Yeah, it's look, dude. We're so far away from being what this country constitutionally is supposed to be that trying to behave as if that's a reality is
naive.
It's not even naive. People are seeing it as evil.
That's right.
Okay.
Amen.
And this is why we're seeing the average person, they understand that. They see that. No. And when they see Trump not doing anything, they see, oh, well, fuck, he's in on it then.
Well,
that's what he
has to own that. And with all due respect, Mr. President, I supported him as much as anybody else since 2022.
Motherfucker, we all did.
And look, I got a billboard. I got 3 billboards made with his face and my face. I can't tell you how much heat I took. Well, why are you putting your face on the billboard? He's a racist. You know what? Shut your fucking mouth. Bill Clinton was a damn. All of them were in on it. Okay, President Trump's the first one to say, wait a second, this deal we have going is messed up, and the not taxing the tips, not taxing the overtime, and not taxing Social Security, groundbreaking economically. You got to give him his credit. But people are right to question whether or not he is in on it.
I know.
They're right to question it. Am I saying that he is? What I'm going to say is I think he's playing a very dangerous game. Let me tell you, get 4 bullets zoom past your head and
tell me you don't move different.
and tell me how people. And this is the even more scary reality. I don't think if your average American citizen doesn't understand how the Fed works, imagine trying to explain to them how the CIA works. They don't even realize that the CIA is its own country. They really think Tulsi Gabbard is running things over at the CIA. Dude, she's got no control over that agency.
They don't even understand. The CIA has a literal budget, and you can fucking read it, for making movies to glorify the CIA.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Why would they need that? Why would they need that?
Because they coined the term conspiracy theorists, and they're masters of propaganda, and they'll kill you.
Yeah, I know.
Or they'll have their buddies over at Mossad do it. I mean, it's just.
I know.
He understands that he's in danger, and I think he's trying to thread a needle. When you're a president, and I think about this myself as being a U.S. Senate candidate, I'm a little different than President Trump in that I'm stupid enough and not read in to just say whatever the fuck I think.
Yeah.
Right? So I'm a little wonky that way. But I haven't been read into the top security clearance. And there's probably a lot of fake material that he's being fed as well.
For sure.
In his own administration.
Yeah.
We know that this is going. So I think he's trying to thread a needle. I think people got to give him some grace.
I think I'd have a good idea of exactly what's happening.
Go ahead.
Yeah, well,
I'd love to hear
it's
it.
going to have to go with this third
okay.
topic.
Let's go to 3.
Yeah, perfect. Epstein.
I'm going to run out and take a leak.
We check in with the chat. Let's check in with the chat real quick. Rolling. They still hanging? Chat, what you guys think so far? What we got? You like that picture?
I love it. Badass.
Nice picture. Okay. Yeah, they're loving it. Anything crazy out there, Z?
Oh, thank you, man. Appreciate that. Thank you.
Royce is cooking. Yeah.
Oh, am I?
Yeah.
I was rambling about. People ask me about my backstory, and I'm big on the details.
No, dude.
Because I think they matter.
No, they do.
But I get to rambling and shit. So
no. If me and Royce are related?
Hey, man. All black people, right? I mean, at some level. Nah, I'm kidding.
Bro, he's only 4 years older than me, bro. It's not possible. Love some Royce. Hell yeah.
All right.
DJ, you suck for thinking Days of Okay, you seen Days of Thunder?
Love it.
Oh,
See?
fuck, man.
See?
Days of Thunder, bro.
Bro, that's that Minnesota Night shit. That's what that
No, it
is,
ain't.
bro. That's Minnesota
No, it's
Night.
a good movie. See, DJ's way younger, bro.
Yeah.
So I had him watch
He's
it.
only
I'm
4
34,
years.
bro.
You're 34?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Come on.
You're not way younger, but
All right.
Yeah, I'm right there.
He thinks he watched Days of Thunder and he was like, the cinematography was so bad. It's like, motherfucker, that was the cameras back then, dude.
man.
Oh,
Yeah.
Terrible.
Different time.
All right.
Terrible movie.
So anyway,
Yeah, let's keep going, man. We got headline 3, guys. Let's get to the Epstein stuff, dude. There's some shit going on there.
yeah.
So let's check in with it.
Yeah,
Chat. Appreciate you guys hanging
yeah.
in there.
I've got some
You got some?
theories.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I mean, we're all
As I
conspiracy
always do.
theories here. So
I know Royce has some theories too.
Yeah, let's
I
dive
wanna hear
into
what
it.
you think.
Just ask the internet.
Yeah, that's right.
You
That's
know,
right.
I want to hear what you think.
Yeah, let's check it out, man. Yeah, no, Ian, no, it's not Ian. No. Kingdom of Heaven. You seen that movie, Kingdom of Heaven?
Good movie.
Yeah,
Phenomenal.
That's a great movie.
Yeah.
Phenomenal.
That's where I'm at.
Phenomenal.
That's where I'm at with
Yeah.
shit.
Bro, God wills it. Let's roll.
Amen.
Yeah. Give me the
Oh,
fucking
you
mask.
Catholic?
No, Lutheran.
Lutheran. All right.
Yeah.
When you saying stuff like God wills it,
I-
days
I'm a-
vote,
I'm a-
brother,
I'm
you
a-
might
I'm-
be on your way to the.
I'm
I'm
an
going to
old
bring you to
school-
the Catholic.
Yeah.
No, I'm kidding.
I'm with whoever wants to put some heads on some fucking stakes.
Yeah.
That's
Yes.
right. That's right. That's
All right?
right.
That's
right.
what I'm with.
That's right. Hell yeah, man. Well, let's get to headline 3, man. Let's get on the Epstein dialogue. There's some things happening. So one of the biggest moves that just happened with this whole Epstein situation is that you now have some lawmakers that have been allowed to review the unredacted Epstein files. Okay. That's quite a bit. And along with
That
that,
happened today?
start happening today. Okay. And along with that, there's been a couple of things. So right now you got Thomas Massey. You got Ro Khanna from California. They're among some of the members of Congress that are viewing the unredacted versions of the Justice Department's files on Jeffrey Epstein today. And they were allowed to start reviewing that stuff this morning. And so that's been happening. At the same exact time, you got Ghislaine Maxwell being deposed. Well, they attempted to depose her. And she's not saying shit, right? And she's tying everything that she's going to speak on, she's tying that to a clemency deal with Trump. He has to fucking...
And Clinton.
And Clinton.
Yeah.
Which is weird.
Yeah.
Which is
She
weird.
said that she would be able to clear Trump and Bill Clinton of any wrongdoing if she was granted clemency.
Right. Right.
And then the lawyers made her plead the fifth.
Mm-hmm. That was literally it, right? And so you had the some of the congressmen and women they came out from that and like, yeah, I mean, she didn't say anything. She was just pleading the fifth, and that was it. Lawyers made a statement, and that was it. So really nothing else coming out of that. But she has committed to speaking honestly, quote unquote, if she was granted clemency by President Donald Trump. And then one more big piece that came out today was Steve Bannon. The Justice Department has moved to dismiss its long-running criminal case against Steve Bannon that tied to his refusal to testify before the congressional committee that investigated the J6 riots. So you got a lot of stuff happening there. But with this Epstein stuff coming out, the files that have been released thus far, you have pretty much the entire government of the UK collapsing it right now, like in real time. That's happening.
It should.
As it should. As it should.
For other reasons besides this, but like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's completely collapsing. We've covered the Peter Mandelson stuff that came out, right? The former ambassador to the U.S. who he resigned. I mean, that's
I
just
hope
the
the
start.
people in the UK understand that this is like their one and only opportunity ever
Bro,
to reclaim their fucking country.
they're not getting it again.
Yeah.
They're not getting it again.
So the
And
question
problem
becomes,
is, both
once
culturally,
something
they're-
collapses, what's replacing it?
Exactly.
And if they don't fucking take control and replace it with what they actually want, it's going to be bad for them.
Yeah, it's going to be a bunch of fucking Aloha snack bars.
Oh, yeah.
That's what it's going
It
to be.
already is that.
You know? So you have
On
that.
every corner.
Dude, they're culturally, they're gone.
Yeah.
Culturally, the UK's gone.
We'll see.
So we shall see. Now, with that, dude, so all of this stuff's coming out, right? I mean, you even got Prince William and Princess Catherine. They're deeply concerned about the Epstein revelations coming out, right? And I'm kind of like this dude. There's this clip of this dude. He was in the airport. I don't know if you guys have seen this clip. I got this clip. This is kind of where I'm at. Check this out.
Because the Epstein files have been released. All of y'all are acting fucking normal. Epstein files have been released. And all of y'all are acting normal.
That's where I'm at. That's where
All
I'm
of
at.
y'all are acting normal. They can laugh, but y'all can Google it. They can laugh, but y'all.
He's saying all of y'all are acting normal.
Yeah, he's like, the Epstein files have been released, and all of y'all are acting normal. This is Atlanta airport. That's kind of where I'm at, dude. Because I'm like, what the fuck is happening? I think this was like
yesterday or the day before.
Yeah. Oh, no shit. For those, but not, he said he was at that airport when that happened.
What airport is this?
Atlanta.
You were there? Really?
That's crazy.
Oh, yeah, you won. Congrats, bro.
That's the BJJ guy. He's not that good.
He got the gold.
Shout out to the jiu-jitsu operators.
Yeah.
He's not that good. Between me and you. No, but that's kind of where I'm at, dude. And so with that though, a couple of key things, right? We've always explained it as like, this is happening, but what's happening over here, right? And with this whole Epstein stuff, it's happening inside of that. You have Thomas Massey, who was just on an interview, and he was asked specifically about some of the Epstein stuff that happened. Let's check this clip. It's just starting to gain some traction. Tell me what you guys think.
Also, I'm going to say this here on camera because it's important. One of Kash Patel's staff threatened my staff with a criminal investigation if we didn't straighten up and play ball.
I was going to ask you about that, but since you brought it up, and I didn't
I'm bringing it up.
Okay, you brought it up.
And so,
Smart dude.
like a criminal investigation having nothing to do, he said it was going to be a fraud. We're going to investigate one of your staff for fraud. Right. And he told another one of my staff this. If you guys don't straighten up, if you want to play hardball, if this is how you want to play it or something like that, this member of your staff is going to get criminally investigated for fraud. A very specific threat.
And so he's saying that this was in reference to the Epstein stuff, that one of Kash Patel's guys reached out to one of his guys and told him, hey, this is what was about to happen if you guys don't straighten the fuck up. Okay?
Yeah.
That's weird by itself. And then in another tweet that he just pushed out, because like I said, we've talked about this. Like, I don't know Massey personally, right? I've never met the guy. On the whole, he kind of seems legit. I like him. I don't have any reason to say I don't like him, but again, I don't know him personally, right? To speak on his character or anything like that. But he's, like I said in the beginning, he's been one of the lawmakers that was allowed to start seeing some of this unredacted shit. And he tweeted this out today, this evening, a couple of hours before we started sitting down and record. He says, quote, "A sultan seems to have sent this. DOJ should make this public." And this is a piece of the Epstein files where this person, who is a sultan, right, according to Thomas Massey, because he knows who it was, has received an email from Jeffrey Epstein saying, "Where are you? Are you okay? I loved the torture video." To which this redacted sultan replied, "I am in China. I will be in the U.S. second week of May." Okay? Now, the internet never deletes itself. There's Wayback Machines. You can search fucking political records and travel logs. Okay? Right now,
They figured out who it was.
the working theory is that this is actually Bibi Netanyahu.
No.
Because the timeline of this, I mean, anybody can go back to
Are you
May of
kidding me?
2009. Okay, Bibi Netanyahu was in China and then the United States in the second week of May 2009.
What about Ehud Barak?
I haven't seen that
Well,
link.
don't him and Netanyahu fucking travel together?
They do, typically.
Okay? And for people that don't understand, Ehud Barak is the globalist.
Right,
It's not actually Netanyahu.
right.
Ehud Barak is the one who is promoting the migration into the Western culture, and that's all his shit.
Mm-hmm.
So, it's very. This is not me sticking up for Netanyahu. I don't like him either.
Yeah.
But
So you got
Ehud Barak and
Yeah.
Jeffrey Epstein are peanut butter and jelly, bro.
right.
So
Can't have one without the other.
yeah.
So I mean, it's interesting, right? And so Massey pushes this out.
Why would he call him a sultan?
I don't know. That piece I don't know.
Yeah.
That piece I don't know.
That's weird.
It's fucking. But I know this.
That's some real cryptic language.
You got a dude in black and white telling you that he likes the torture videos that
that's-
allegedly this dude fucking sends him. I'm sorry. That's more than just an implication. That's more like you're fucking in it. Who the fuck is this guy? Why is this being redacted? Fucking release this name. Like, this isn't some ambiguous fucking could be misinterpreted, could be like, that's pretty fucking clear if you ask me.
It could also be he saw a clip on the internet of some fucking depraved shit like the rest of us have all seen and shared it with him.
It's possible. It's possible.
Okay.
I don't know.
The problem is that we don't know.
Yeah.
Right.
You understand?
So why
Like, how
redact
many
it?
times have you and I sent videos say, "Oh, the dude got his fucking face blown off. Check this out."
Mm-hmm. No, I get it, but why redact it?
I get it.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay. Well, I want to hear your theories. Well, are you done?
Last
Go
little
ahead.
piece.
Okay,
Last
go
little
ahead.
piece, because I know we talked a little bit earlier, right? This last little piece on this dude is fucking weird. It just got revealed, okay, that there was a $100,000 check from the Tides Foundation to Ghislaine Maxwell's Terramar project, okay? That same foundation is also connected to the Super Bowl commercial that featured all of those. Oh, Bibi Netanyahu, guys. Bibi Netanyahu.
The audio cut out. Holy moly.
Yeah. Right? Right?
Wow.
All right.
Bro, I tell you about how it's getting kicked off the streams and shit. I'll tell you after the show.
Bro.
Yeah.
So that same foundation, the Tides Foundation, is the same foundation that's also connected to the Super Bowl commercial that featured all of these Epstein victims, right? Which was produced by a company called World Without Exploitation. It's a project operating under the Tide Center. The Tide Center is funded by the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation and George Soros' Open Society Foundation.
Jesus.
So the Tides Foundation and the Tide Center, they're separate entities operating under the same network. So that commercial that was played during the Super Bowl, right, with all these victims of Jeffrey Epstein, it's just weird. I think that is fucking weird that allegedly some abusers and now you're working with the victims. How does that make sense?
After years of being
No,
kept
that's
apart,
the easy answer on that one is it's crazy and inappropriate, should be unacceptable. But that is typically how this global corporate community works, going all the way back to what I said in the beginning. Because remember when the tobacco companies did the same thing and they funded all of the anti-tobacco ads. This is how the corporation, they actually think that's an appeasement, which makes them even more sick and twisted.
It's
But
fucked up.
yeah.
So they think, so what you're saying is
If
they,
we
they
fund,
know that people are going to figure out that they're funding this and that people are going to say, well, why would they fund this if they're guilty?
Mm-hmm.
No, I think even more. They're just saying we're doing what we can. This is a bad situation, and we don't really know who did what because the files are redacted. But we're trying to make amends, and you got to think maybe they can convince. It's not about convincing the public because if they can keep this stuff redacted as long as possible, the only people they have to convince are these.
So it's like plausible deniability.
Grand
They're able to
jurors
say-
and the people
they're
inside the
able to say,
administration.
what do you mean us? We funded the fucking ad on the Super Bowl.
They're just trying to paper it over. It ain't gonna work. I mean, this is too deep. This ain't the type of thing that's gonna work. But you don't know how they're gonna try and fence it to the public,
Right.
You know, so it's.
So I see it as controlling both sides of the
Yeah.
of the fucking propaganda, dude.
I hadn't seen this.
You haven't
until
seen
just
it?
now.
Oh yeah, dude.
That
This
is
shit.
weird.
This shit just. I mean, this is fresh off the press, baby.
That's really weird.
You know what I'm saying? So I don't know, dude. There's a
I'm
lot
gonna
here.
think
Though.
this through.
Yeah, bro. Yeah. Well, what you got on it, dog?
Well, I mean, this goes back to what we're talking about with Trump. You know, I agree. So everybody's pissed at Trump right now. That's just the reality. Okay. And I agree with you that he's trying to thread the needle in some way, shape, or form. But I also believe that this is what I see happening, dude. Like, I just see shit from a different angle than everybody else because I live in strategy world. That's what I do for my companies. The way I think about what's going on and the way I see it, and I am not saying that this is what's going on. I'm saying this is the way I see it. Trump is not a fucking idiot. Contrary to what people want to say about him or this or that, the dude's smart. And he's very strategically smart. And when we look at what just happened with the drop of 3 million files, okay, for the last 7 years that this has been talked about, and it's been talked about by other people for much longer. Alex Jones has been talking about it for 20 years, all right? But it's gathered steam over the last 6-7 years. When I have had to go, and I'm gonna give you a practical example about this. When I have had discussions with people who are not very knowledgeable about what's going on, and I look at them and I say, hey, there's a fucking pedophile blackmail ring where kids are being harvested, farmed, tortured, and sometimes eaten. Okay, what the fuck do you think that the people outside of the quote unquote know think when I say that to them?
Yeah, you're fucking crazy.
You're fucking insane, bro. You've lost your goddamn mind. You are, Andy, what do you do? Like, dude, I've had successful friends of mine, people that you know their names, look at me and be like, bro, like, you need to touch some grass, man.
That's right,
Like,
right.
It's so unbelievable and it's so bad that a normal person can't comprehend it. It'll break their fucking structure of what they believe reality to be. Ours broke a long time ago, which is what it's allowed us to question historical events and to look into things and to go back to 1913 and what happened in World War I and World War II and all of these things. And it's allowed us to see the propaganda for what it is. The regular person has not had that yet. They have not had that understanding that everything that they believe is a fucking lie. They don't get it. Okay? So when you say this to these people, they think you're fucking crazy. Okay? Now, what's happened over the last week or so that has changed that? Oh, Donald Trump's name is in the Epstein files. Okay? And anybody with any reading or actual comprehension skill can go into the Epstein files right now and see that none of the shit that Donald Trump's name is on is actually anything to have to do with kids or any of this fucking crazy shit, okay? But it needs to be in there for the simple reason that it forces everybody else to say, holy shit, this is real, okay? So you have half of the Epstein files, it's 3 million pages. You got another half that's yet to drop. This drops on people and it forces everybody outside the fucking quote unquote conspiracy circle to say, holy shit, this might be real.
Yeah, right.
Okay. And the people on the left are gobbling it the fuck up now because they hate Trump so bad. They want to get Trump no matter what. But what that's done is that's forced them to accept this is real. Okay. Now, if you got everybody looking at it and saying, oh, it's real, and you're holding back 3 million documents, and by the way, for people who kind of know what's been going on, the really bad shit hasn't come out.
No.
Okay? And then they drop that on everybody. We're going to have total public outrage, which gives Trump the position, if he so chooses, to hold those people accountable outside of the typical fucking standard of law or the Constitution.
People are demanding.
Okay? Because people are going to say they are fucking killing fucking kids. I don't care what you have to do. Put these people on fucking stakes. The temperature has to be that for him to hold those people accountable. If he were to try to come in on day one and arrest everybody the way that people wanted him to, everybody in the whole world would have been saying, he's a dictator, he's fucking taking over the country. We'd have NATO here, we'd have outside forces aligning with NATO, and we'd have a fucking military force on this country to liberate us, okay? What I believe is actually happening is that the table is being set for accountability. And if I'm wrong, we're going to know in 30 days, okay? And if I'm wrong, then that means that we're going to have to do it as men. I'm okay with that. But you have to understand, you can't hold people accountable. No government system that's ever existed over the course of human history took any severe action towards the other side of the government without intense public pressure.
Yeah.
Okay. And so this is why when people say nothing's going to happen, it's such a terrible thing to say, because you're actually creating a scenario where nothing will happen by saying nothing's going to happen. What needs to happen in this country, if we want accountability, there needs to be so much public pressure for accountability that the person, that, whether it's Trump or whoever, replace Trump with somebody else you like or don't like. It doesn't matter. If it was Andy Frisella as president and I walked in on first day and I arrested everybody, the same outcome would happen. I, as the leader, would have to create public fucking demand in order for me to take the action necessary to solve the problem. If you look at what happened over the weekend with the tax video or the stolen election video, okay, and you look at what happened, this is exactly the same thing on a different issue where they got people enraged, but now people are looking. All right.
What the fuck did he post?
Okay. Now, what that is that's just a play on how public perception works nowadays. Okay. Look at all the Instagram influencers. Look at all the social. How do they get their fucking clout? They start drama. They start beef. They play the audience. Okay. Look at how Jake Paul's created this amazing fucking brand for his boxing. He's created controversy. People watch him fight. Do you know, by the way, that Jake Paul and Donald Trump are pretty fucking tight? Just so you know. Okay. So when we think about how he's playing public perception, in my opinion, there's really only one way to hold those people accountable, and it seems to be unfolding, in my opinion. Now, I could be wrong, and if I'm wrong, and these child predators and these murderers and these blackmailers are not held accountable, then we will have to do it as American men. That is real shit, because I, like everybody else who has decency in their heart, I cannot live in a country that is ruled by people who do such things. I refuse to.
Amen.
And we as men need to understand two things right now. One, we should be putting pressure on Trump for accountability. And two, we should be accepting the reality that this could be a situation where we have to get our fucking hands dirty for real if it doesn't happen.
Amen.
Okay? That's all I'm saying. And that's not me polishing Trump's nuts. That's not me saying he's playing 7D chess. This is basic strategy that should be able to be seen by people. But, you know, I understand why they can't, because they don't live in a strategic mindset 24 hours a day.
Right.
So that's what I see happening. And it seems to be playing out more and more every day. And our role in this is to be loud and vocal and tell him that this is what the fuck we want, bro. The reason we're pissed at you is not because of any other reason that you're not going hard enough, dude. And you're making us feel like you are part of the fucking cabal that you've sworn to drain. Okay? And we've lost hope in that. And that's why people are pissed at him. I think personally, if Trump were to go hard and he were to hold these people accountable, you would see his approval rating go to fucking 98%. When we look at what happened post 9/11, okay, the day after 9/11, everybody was an American. It was so outrageous, so terrible, and we all saw that we did not give a single fuck how they were held accountable. All we knew is that we wanted fucking blood. Come to find out, The whole thing was fucking engineered. Okay? And what did we do? Oh, we went to war for 20 motherfucking years and killed millions of innocent people on the idea of something that.
Somebody fucked us. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if he can build that public outrage around something that's true, he will be justified in holding the accountability. There's no other way for him to have done it.
Yeah.
Okay? Really think about this. Okay? And you can be critical of Trump, and I am. Dude, if he doesn't do it, he's the worst motherfucking president that ever walked on the face of the earth. He will go down in history as the man who fucking lost America. And you can argue whether Trump is a good guy or a bad guy or this or that. But one thing we all know about Trump is Trump loves fucking Trump. And I can promise you a deep part of who he is wants to be known as the greatest American president ever. And we have to let him know that if you are going to be considered the greatest American president ever, you are going to have to follow through on all of the promises that you made to free us from this corrupt shit. That's it.
Yeah.
Okay? That's what I personally see. And I know a lot of people are going to clip this out of context and they're going to say, Andy's fucking a MAGA nutsucker. No, I'm not at all. I'm not at all. I am pro-freedom and I am a patriot and I believe that our country by design, when run by design, is a perfect fucking country. The boundaries have not been obeyed. Corruption has been allowed in. And we are dealing with a fucking infectious disease that has to be cut out or we will die. And that's what we're dealing with now. And I think people should be enraged about this Epstein shit. I think people should stay enraged about it. And I think they need to let President Trump know through their voice, and not in the way that people do where they're just like, fuck this motherfucker. I think it needs to be like, hey, we demand this. And if you don't do it, we're going to fucking do it. And that needs to be the fucking message. Because I'm going to tell you right now, and I mean this shit, if they are not held accountable, I will be the first motherfucker out there because, dude, I'm not going to sit in front of and be judged by God. God can say a lot of things about me. He could say all kinds of shit, but one thing he's not going to fucking say is that you look the other way when fucking little kids and women and shit were raped and murdered and fucking and then you didn't do shit. I'm not doing that. I don't care what it costs me.
Amen.
So, yeah.
Amen.
So that when you ask like what I see, that's what I see. I think he knows the 250th anniversary of America is coming up. I think his goal is to have his mission accomplished by then, quote unquote. And I think we're on a limited time frame. And I think if we don't see some shit happen in the next few months, I think we're going to know what needs to be done and we're going to have to fucking do it. That's what I think.
Yeah.
That was legendary rant.
Yeah. I mean, that's how I see it. And I get heat.
No, it's serious, man.
I get heat on it all the time because people are like, oh, you're not giving him a chance or you're too pro this. No, I'm not anything, bro. I'm a fucking dude who runs a company, who wants Americans to win, who wants Americans to be great, who wants to not get fucking taxed into oblivion, who wants our citizens to not get taxed into oblivion and be profitable and have what we were promised, which is the land of opportunity, and that all men are created equal and they should all have equal opportunity. Like, I fucking believe that shit to my core.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, so I don't have a political affiliation. Did I support Trump? Yeah, absolutely. I voted for Trump 3 times. Would I vote for Trump how Trump's being right now? Fuck no. I wouldn't. But I also know, because I've read every single book that there is to read about Donald Trump. I was studying him as a businessman before he was ever a politician. If you go read his book, there's a book called Think Big and Kick Ass. It's one of the best business books ever fucking written. There's an entire chapter written about revenge. He is not a look the other way motherfucker. He's not that guy. This is a guy who wrote a whole book. I don't know a single other author. I've read thousands of books about business and winning and all this shit. You know what they all say? Don't worry about revenge. The best revenge is success. That's what they all say. You know what Trump says? Fuck that. Kill him. That's what he says. So I think there's a lot of things happening here at the same time. And Royce, to your point, I think he's trying to thread the needle to get to a point to where he can do the thing that he promised that he would do. And if he doesn't do it, and I'm going to say this until I'm blue in the face, We have to do it. We have to do it. And you have to start getting ready now. You have to start preparing now. You got to prepare your mind. You got to prepare your body. You got to prepare your fucking soul. And you got to be ready to fight for what the fuck you stand for, whatever the fuck that means.
It's real, man.
So
That's real. Dude.
maybe I'm wrong.
No, I
Yeah.
look, you know, there's a couple scenarios in my opinion that play out here. The first one is that President Trump is aware of more than what we see.
Absolutely.
And even furthermore, it's totally possible that he and other people who are in his cohort have been informing on Epstein and that there's been an internal battle happen. Because this whole Epstein thing, I mean, it glows like a moon rock. I mean, there are so many competing intelligence agencies in here.
Yes.
And you got MBS and you got maybe BB and you got, I mean, definitely BB in Israel, but you got China. I mean, he was just connected to so much. You got to think at some point he became a proxy for competing intelligence agencies.
Correct.
And so if that's the case, then it's completely possible that somebody within ours or maybe in others around the world were fighting a battle and laying traps or trying to trap them or trying to.
1,000. I don't
Right?
think that's even possible. I think that's 100%
Right.
accurate.
So
yeah.
if that's the case, then it's possible that, like you said, President Trump's aware of and read into more things than most people are.
Yeah.
And for whatever reasons, they say national security, but really it's, you know, we can't let the people of Saudi Arabia run a coup on MBS in the middle of a trade war with China and let what's left of the petrodollar alliance fall because the entire economy will come to a halt. And I'm not saying it's okay.
No.
I'm saying how
I
they
think you're
think.
saying. I think you're saying exactly.
I'm saying how they think.
That plays into what I'm saying too.
For sure.
Because when you look at the moves that he's made with Venezuela, and you look at the moves that he's made with Greenland, and
No
you
doubt.
look at these moves, okay,
Breaking from all those
here's
alliances.
what you got to remember.
Yeah.
He understands that when he does what the fuck we're talking about doing, that there's a chance that
It's
all
on.
the other countries might want to
on.
fucking come here.
That's right.
For war, okay? Because their systems will collapse as a result. We're already seeing it in England.
Bullshit. Yeah, right.
Okay.
UK's on his way. Yeah.
So everybody needs to calm the fuck down in terms of he's bought and paid for, and they need to start considering that we, as a functional democratic republic society, things don't happen unless there's pressure. Pressure forces outcomes, okay? And if we sit on the internet and we say nothing's gonna fucking happen, you know what's gonna happen?
Nothing.
Fucking nothing.
That's right.
Because I would go so far to say that people who say nothing's gonna happen,
They don't want anything to happen.
they are either stupid
or in on it.
or they are in on it.
Yes.
Okay? Because they are trying to I think a lot of the people who say, oh, nothing's gonna happen are bots, that they're trying to quell the fucking outcry.
You wouldn't know if they're bots or not because they're fucking tweeting from anonymous.
That's a
baby
whole
bitches.
nother
But
thing.
the last, I was going to say that I think there's going to be a convergence here of multiple crises at the same time.
Absolutely.
Where if the midterms aren't held, as sure as the turning of the earth, President Trump will be impeached, and they will use this as the means to impeach him. And
That's why I think it's going to happen soon.
let me say this about Democrats, and it is just, again, President Trump has to go max. Part of going max is the accountability on the Epstein deal, and he's got to. Listen, if Epstein was a part of facilitating him having sex with some women who were 18 and over, just come out and say that.
Yeah.
Just come to the White House, and you know what? This is what me and Epstein. This was our relationship. Modeling agency, there were some 18-year-old, 19-year-old girls. I was a little bit too old. It's a little inappropriate, but hey, I did what I did. I wasn't a part of any child torture or anything. That probably needs to happen sooner than later, if that's the case.
I don't think he did that. Yeah.
I don't think he did either, but it needs to happen
Yeah,
nonetheless.
he was the motherfucker that kicked him out, bro. Started the whole thing.
And I know all of that. And he helped the feds, but what I'm saying is it needs to be said.
Yeah.
For the optics. If you care about the optics.
Yeah.
If you're a bad mother like us, you don't care about the optics, then don't care about the optics.
Yeah.
I said this about the ICE deal, and I want to draw this connection. Because with the immigration issue, and this is connected because this is all happening at once now. You got immigration, you got Epstein, you got the elections that, again, to me, the Epstein thing becomes a MacGuffin for the elections not being secure. When all is said and done, you know, MacGuffin is like the Maltese Falcon, right? it's meant to drive the story forward, but it's not really what the plot is about. In Maltese Falcon, there is no Falcon, right? Okay. The elections aren't secure.
Yeah.
I mean, we're burning daylight, and they're not. It doesn't look like they're going to end up being secure unless we nationalize it, which is going to be considered an act of unconstitutional tyranny, and that plays into the argument about immigration tyranny. It's one after. You see, the Democrats already doing it. As soon as Bannon said, "Put those ICE agents at the polls," Rachel Maddow lost her mind and said, "Oh my goodness, they're going to try and steal this election by intimidating people not to vote."
No. She's projecting.
I understand.
Yeah.
That's what I was
Telling on
getting to.
yourself.
Wait a
Yeah.
second.
You're
I was
telling on
getting there.
yourself.
I was getting there. Wait a second. This is what I need people to understand and realize, especially on the right. Yes, we want to know everything that there is to know about these Epstein files. There cannot be a society, especially an American society, that allows this to go unchecked. It just can't happen.
Yeah.
It's unacceptable. As a matter of national honor and sacred honor, we can't have a functioning republic or a nation that has any favor if we allow this to go unchecked. However, I don't give any Democrats a single iota of credibility in their fake outrage up and down the line, from illegal immigration to trans discrimination to Epstein accountability.
Yeah.
Don't tell me. I don't want to hear from the group of people who wanted to mutilate our children and have tried to normalize minor attracted people that now Epstein's going to be the hill they die on. Everything that the communists and the Marxists scrutinize is a projection and a deflection. And we have to understand that we're fighting an internal civil war battle, asymmetrical, with real boots on the ground, that's Antifa, but also ideological and informational, where they're going to try and hit us over, they're going to hit us both ways. They're going to split the atom.
1,000%.
They're going to say, like they're doing now, well, tell me how you feel about your president being a pedophile. You all are pedophiles.
Yeah.
You're right.
So I'm not, you can play that game, but I'm going to call the balls and strikes on it. If you're a communist or a leftist, or you have advocated for the last 10 years that we should be pushing transgender sexual content in the public school libraries of grade school children, I don't want to hear your opinion on Epstein. Let me talk to some trad Catholics, okay, who want to hold the sexual morality of our society intact. I'll listen to their opinion on Epstein, and there are some further, right?
We don't go too high there.
But you know what I mean?
On the ground,
But you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm not going to listen to these people who proliferated
Yeah, bro.
sexual perversion
Listen, this is
about this situation.
Look,
It's a
bro,
MacGuffin for
we
them,
had-
for
we had-
them, not
dude,
for you.
100%, bro. We had the man who wrote, you seen Agenda and Agenda 2?
Yes.
Okay. The
Curtis Bowers.
Curtis Bowers, who
right.
wrote those. He is the world's leading expert on communism at this time. He's been on the show 2 or 3 times. The communists work very simply. 3 steps forward, 1 step back. They push. When they get enough pushback, they go back. Then they wait for everybody to calm down. Then they push. When we watch what's happened over the last decade, that's exactly what they've done, which is why people don't trust Trump right now, because they think that he's part of that.
1 step back.
Yes,
Yeah.
we're just trying to satisfy you guys by putting him in there, right? Which at this point in time,
Could be.
yes.
Catherine Austin Fitts thinks so.
Yeah.
Catherine Austin Fitts said that Trump was selected to usher in the digital digital ID because the liberals weren't doing it quick enough.
Bro, and a lot of the fucking shit that's happening.
And the SAVE Act does have a digital ID in it. They need to
Correct.
take that out before
Correct.
they pass it.
And that's the people who are strongly anti-Trump. That's why. That's why they believe that he's bought into it, because they're pushing the Palantir, surveillance state, all this shit, which, by the way, I agree with them on. So like,
But I also feel like we're already in there. You know what I'm saying? Like
Well,
we're already
that's
there.
we have been
The
for a long
Patriot
time.
Act. Yeah.
That's what Snowden was trying to tell
that's
everybody.
right.
So
I don't know. I actually do think, look, I think we're in this type of position as a country. Again, President Trump, I'm 34 years old. And one day me and you may have to step in and run for president or something like that. But what I'm saying is, until that time comes, President Trump is the best hope that we have politically. Now, if we want to go to
that's why the pressure has to go on him.
yes,
Yeah.
no doubt. Oh,
Yeah.
keep it on 1,000%. But if we want to go to the mattresses as self-governing sovereign citizens and say, we're going to do more of a Thomas Jefferson, a Jeffersonian approach to restructure this thing. I don't know that I trust all these people.
No.
I trust you. I trust some people.
Listen.
But what I'm saying is some of these people, it's like you can have an evolution or revolution. And right now, this country needs to evolve. It's like with AI. The whole apprehension of AI should be this. We don't see a single piece of evidence that a broad majority of American citizens or citizens all over the world have their mind together, are wrapped tight. So why would we let those people map their minds onto the robots? It's just you're asking for big trouble.
I believe that AI came out intentionally for this Epstein situation.
I was just going to tell.
Yeah.
I was going to say that
all these crimes are going to come out.
Yes.
And now we're going to be like, well, is that fucking AI? Is that real?
Yes.
Yeah.
I can't even tell. I put a couple clips out, and I had people in the comments on Facebook, from my Facebook, saying, dude, this is AI. I'm in the comments going, I'm real, motherfucker. What are you talking about? But it's not. It's only in the last 6 months that AI has gotten that good, by the way. That is the real threat on the horizon, AI.
Yeah.
And the ushering in of digital ID is the real threat and danger. Epstein, and this, again, back to the Democrats, and I don't make it Democrat-Republican, because I could just as easy run independent, or there could be a third party. The problem is that the system doesn't allow for those things to have any traction. But Epstein does seem to be the connective tissue of a globalist political philosophy and structure.
And that was just
the leftists, the Rachel Maddows and the MSNBCs, they can try and play however they want to, but the bottom line is this sort of internationalism that everybody subscribed to since World War II leads to a Jeffrey Epstein being able to have dual citizenship, and he's going to this country and that country, and he's meeting with this leader and that leader, and it's about finance and stocks. And guys, we need to bring it on home, regardless of what ends up happening with this Jeffrey Epstein deal. America first must be. There are two things that people must go into the midterms with as determining factors of who they support. Are they America first? Can they be bought and paid for?
That's it.
Simple.
That is it. That
That's
is it. Not for fucking sale. That's it, bro.
it.
That's it. If I ever ran for shit, that'd be my fucking slogan. Not for fucking sale. You might not like me. You might not like everything I say. You might not like everything I do, but you can know that I'm doing it with the intent of making the country better, not for fucking Israel or fucking whoever's paying me. Like, I'm not doing it.
Yeah.
And if we could dude, it's such a great point you're making. This can go a couple different ways still. The peaceful way, there's three options, really, okay? Well, there's four. One, we put pressure on Trump and he does it, okay? Two, voters become intelligent enough to stop voting for people who are bought and paid for, which that's going to take some re-education.
Yes.
All right? Three, we could fucking try to physically take over, which is going to be challenging because of what we said about the police and military, okay?
Yes.
So those people would have to wake up and say, hey, I stand with the people, not stand with the government. Or four, we fucking lose. Those are the four options. I don't think there's another option. So, it's kind of an order, like in business, how I would look at this. Okay, what's the best case scenario? The best case scenario is to put the pressure on Trump and hope that he fucking does it. The next best case scenario is to make sure that people do exactly what you just said, where they vote for America first and people that are not bought and paid for. If that doesn't work, that's because each one of these has considerations and assumptions that we don't know to be true. So, because if we say, okay, well, let's re-educate the voters, then we have to then put our faith in the election system, which doesn't seem secure.
Right.
Right?
At each trough, you have more unintended consequences.
Correct. Right. And that, it's a flow chart of best, better, not so good. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
right.
Really bad.
But,
really bad.
Yeah, but we have to prepare in business for worst case scenario. So if this were, let's just say this were America, my little business here, I would tell the guys, I would say, your job right now is to put pressure on this person because they have the ability to correct it or not, vocally, however you need to, okay? Not violently, vocally. And then you need to go out and you need to get in shape. And you need to start learning how to do shit.
Yeah, prepare for the worst.
That's right.
Yeah.
And that's the message that we need to be sending to American men. That's what I think.
Amen.
That's real, man.
Amen,
Guys, jump
sir.
into this comment. Jump into this conversation. Let us know down in the comments
Yeah, well,
what you guys think, man.
look,
Some heavy shit.
yeah, it's you know what I think? Man,
Yes.
I think it's fucking awesome.
We gotta get
I think it
voices, bro.
sucks. I think there's a lot. I think I'd rather be doing other shit.
Yeah.
But then when I'm at home at night and I'm a little demoralized and I feel the pressure because, dude, I mean, Royce, you do too. When you put yourself out the way that you have, or the way that I have, or the way that he has, there's a lot of pressure, bro.
I'm worried about exploding pagers, but I'll say
Yeah.
that for next time.
I think these guys, all of our crew is in on that. They understand.
I'll save that for the next time I come back.
Yeah, and we could fucking.
I swear, no, I was up last night,
Bro.
and I was laying in my bed, right? And my phone was like just, because I'm in the hotel right here.
Yeah,
It was
yeah.
coming down, and the phone was like close to me on the bed, and I was watching Dan Wong talk about China.
Yeah.
And he made an excellent point. He said, China is ruled by engineers. America is ruled by lawyers.
Yeah.
Ruled by lawyers. Ruled by engineer versus ruled by lawyers.
Yeah.
And that's part of our problem. We have an over litigious society.
Absolutely.
And a corrupt legal system.
Correct.
Which is how you get an Epstein first. But anyway, so I'm looking at my phone and I'm just thinking, is this motherfucker going to explode on me one day
Yeah.
and just
It
blow
might.
my whole face and my
might.
abdomen out of my body? I don't know. I'm just.
It might.
Yeah.
It might.
That's a real thing.
But dude, that's what I'm saying. Look, bro, people don't realize this. Okay. When I started talking about this, just like when I started my business, I accepted what it was going to take to get the result. Okay. When I first started talking about this shit, I knew that people were going to hate me. I knew that I was going to have to deal with shit. I knew all of these things. I accepted it up front. And I think American men need to do some accepting of reality on their own and realize that for us to get this fucker back on track, it's going to take some participation.
Some inconvenience.
It's going to take some inconvenience, and it's never going to be easier than it is right now. And the thing that we can do now is to let Donald Trump know, motherfucker, we elected you 3 fucking times.
It's time to
All
do it.
of us
It's time now, man.
have taken so much shit for you, bro. Do what you said you were going to do. And that should be the message. And I do think that knowing Trump's genius about branding, and I think he wants to have this done by July 4th. I think he wants to celebrate the new independence of the United States of America. And I think he wants to be the hero. And that's what I think.
Yeah.
So we're going to know soon. We need to participate and we need to prepare. That's what I think.
I love it, man.
Yeah.
I love it.
Make Minnesota great again. You know what's funny is I'll put some up on my site, roycewhite.us, my Senate site. I'll put some up there, but I got it from a small BPOU in Minnesota, up in northern Minnesota, and I was at a governor's forum, and they just handed me one. They were like, "Man, will you wear this hat?" And I was like, "I love that hat."
Yeah.
And I've been wearing it ever since. Make Minnesota great again. My whole thing is this, and we have to get ready for this as well.
Yeah.
Because I do think this.
Now, keep in mind with everything I said, I'm also a bit of an extremist.
Well, they
Okay.
call.
Yeah.
We're out there.
All right.
We're way over
Yeah.
there. Yeah. We're way over there in what they call the unelectable zone, which
correct.
is probably why we should run for office, right? All the unelectable people should step up at front and center. But I do think that America has a divine calling as a nation, and in Scripture, nations do have divine calling. Now, you can lose that favor as well. But I do think that what's written in our founding documents has the DNA of a Christian evolution, and at least to be codified in government, right? If you look at Israel in the time that Jesus walked in, and what was codified then in the Roman Empire, and then there was a lot of corruption in the Roman Empire. Then you get the Anglican Church in Great Britain, which was a nightmare by the end, and we had to revolt and declare our independence from them. And then you get America. I do think that there's something in American DNA that longs for the truth and longs for freedom.
Yeah.
No matter what tyranny.
Revolution's in our blood.
Yes. No matter what tyranny befalls us, we will eventually rise up. The question is, how much suffering are we going to have to go through before we rise?
Totally
right?
agree.
Okay. So with that being said, I do feel like this next political season, of 2026, will be a judgment on us as a country. It's going to be a judgment on us in that, and I tell if I can leave people with anything, even if the elections are not secure and rigged, you still have to get out there.
Correct.
You have to force them to cheat. You have to force them to feel the spirit and the pressure of the will of the people. And it does become harder to cheat the more people show up. That's a fact. But in 2024, with the Satanists and communists full hand around our throat as a nation, 32 million Christians didn't vote. In Minnesota alone, it's estimated 1 million, conservatively, 1 million conservatives and Christians of voter age did not vote in the 2024 presidential election. This is going to be a judgment on Christians. And I'm not saying if you don't believe in Christ or you're not a Christian, you don't believe in God, or you're an atheist libertarian, that you're not welcome to the party. All I'm saying is that I think the dividing line has gotten pretty clear when an international sex ring is passing emails about torturing kids. Mm-hmm. So if we can't then draw that, look, even if I'm an atheist,
bro,
if I don't like child sex torture, I'm probably going to have to fall in with the Christians, unless there's some Christians who are in on it, and then we're going to dump them back in with the Satanists. So it's a restructuring, but people have to realize if after Charlie Kirk's brutally assassinated, and this entire country of Christians gets together, locks hands, and sings Kumbaya, and then you don't come out to participate in the most consequential political season in our 250-year history, then the problem isn't with Muslims. It's not with communists. It's not with liberals. It's not even with pedophiles. The problem is with Christians.
Apathetic,
lazy, 501c3 Christians.
I'll give you an example.
And I hesitate to say this, but I do think that the post-Enlightenment Christianity is such a watered-down version of Christianity. We are susceptible right now, culturally, as a Christian community, because our first instinct is to turn the other cheek and let God sort everything out in the afterlife.
It's not even what the Bible calls for.
That's not what it calls for, but that's what they teach. We have
I
to
know.
throw that out right now.
Yeah.
Christian Inquisition. And I don't mean that we need to go persecute people. I mean, we need to be ready. Christians need to be ready for war this time. We can't just sit in our that was great. Everybody sang and cried. And when I go to one of these Protestant, no offense, Mr. Lutheran man, but when I go to some of these Protestant, services, everybody's, holding their hands up and they're crying and they're swaying, and it's just real emotional and real poetic. But these Muslims, they're ready to throw down. These Marxists, these Antifas, they're ready to throw down.
Dude, it's real simple.
Yeah.
Okay. You have the extreme Muslims that talk openly about exterminating Christians.
That's right.
Okay. That's not all Muslims. It's the extremes. You also have the extreme Jews saying the same shit. Okay. People need to realize, and that's not all Jews. Okay. People need to realize, I don't see Christian. I've never heard the most extreme Christian. I've never heard them say, we need to fucking kill all the Muslims or we need to kill all the Jews. That's not. But those are said by these other groups in the extreme circles. That should be a red flag for people.
Amen.
Okay? This is real shit. Most people don't think, and I'm going to hit your point on the voter thing too in a second, because I have said I'm not going to vote, but I said it out of anger because I was pissed. People don't think that Satanism is a real thing.
I know.
They think it's an adjective for evil. They think it's a synonym for evil. That's a bad person, so they're Satanists. No. There are people that literally believe in human sacrifice, in power by all means, in deception, and these people have, over the last 600 years, found themselves embedded in places of power that controls society. And that is a real thing that you can trace all the way back 12,000 years ago to the beginning of quote unquote humanity in Samaria. Okay? This is real. This is not bullshit. And people think it's fucking fake. And that's a big problem. And what do they say that the devil's greatest fucking feat was? To convince people that he wasn't real.
And they're right up in your face with is my point. Look at Epstein with the bank account named after Baal, the child sacrificing demon. And see, this is what I meant about the leftists. They're not.
Well, that got debunked, but there's plenty of other.
But the whole symbology, the whole thing with Epstein is a satanic ideology.
Correct.
And the left has embraced it. So I'm not taking their Epstein, bull.
Yeah.
I'm just not. I'm not buying it. We'll be the ones to prosecute Epstein because we believe in that moral standard.
That's right.
Right. But the problem with Christians, again, I'll say this again. The problem with Christians right now is we believe that we should leave all of the rough stuff to God, and it's just
he doesn't even tell you to do that.
It's just not. It's not going to work. No. It's not going to work that way. We have to be ready. You know what would make me feel good? If out of response to Charlie Kirk being assassinated, and out of response to these Epstein files, and out of response to the clear divide we see between people who believe in good and evil, I want to see Christians showing up in open carrying on Sunday. Mm-hmm. I want to see every Christian march into their place of worship carrying a loaded handgun on their hip, open carry, not conceal and carry.
Yeah, it says
open
a signal.
carry.
You're not going to fuck with us.
Don't fuck with us.
Yeah.
We're ready to, we're not going to play this game too much longer.
Yeah.
And if we're not willing to do that,
then we're going to get conquered.
Then
it's
it goes back to Darwin.
Order,
it goes back to Darwin,
yes.
Right? On the playground, if you let people push you around too much, you'll be a punching bag
forever.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And dude, to go to your voting point, and then we can wrap up. But the vote, like for example, people will say, "Well, I'm not going to fucking vote because it's all bullshit." Well, what about those votes that they just went and confiscated in Georgia? Okay, right. Now, and I said, remember when I said this during the election? I said you have to fucking vote because if you don't vote,
have no way
and they cheat, they're not going to be able to tell that it was fake anyway. Mm-hmm. So the only evidence of a fake election is the amount of votes that aren't counted. Okay,
yeah, right.
So you, two things can be true at the same time. You can believe that we deserve a different system. You can believe that by voting, we're consenting to be governed. And we can believe all of this shit because a lot of libertarians will say, I'm not voting because it's giving my consent to be ruled. Listen, motherfucker, we're living in reality here. Yeah. Okay. This is reality. We could talk about the way things should be, but then there's the way things are. And if the difference between the way things should be and the way things are mean that you're going to stand by the way things should be and you're going to get slaughtered for it, you're a fucking idiot. Okay? That's stupid. We have to vote, and we have to vote. And then if we need to fix all of this shit, we can. But the votes have to exist in order to know if there's fraud or not.
Right.
Right? Like,
it's like, take a basketball game, for example. If you come into a basketball game in somebody else's hometown or somebody else's home gym, and you say, hey, we're going to be cheated from the start, so we might as well not play.
That's it. Then they win.
Yeah, they win by default.
Yeah.
You forfeit. No, we play the game, and if they cheat, we review it, we go back, we play again, we deal with the outcome of being cheated. Hey, then it might, you know what, after 2020, people should have been in the streets because obviously there was election fraud, but everybody had something better to do.
Yeah.
And this time, that's ratcheting up. People are getting sick of the election fraud, but you have to vote or else you can't really complain if you get cheated because you didn't get cheated.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
If you didn't play, you didn't get cheated.
But then you got Rachel Maddow saying, oh, they're trying to fix the election. No, bitch, you've been doing that for fucking 25 years.
That's right. Mm-hmm.
Okay?
That's right.
We're not trying to fix shit. We're trying to get an honest election out of what we're promised. What we work our whole lives to support with our tax dollars. Like, what the fuck, bitch? Like, we're trying to fucking be, like, this ain't about fixing. This is about, we don't trust the system. Yeah. And to give one more thing, the plan that I laid out that I think Trump is running right now that a lot of people are going to say, oh, Andy thinks he's running 7D chess. It's working. And let me tell you why it's working. Because I got a call yesterday from my cousin, who is as far left of a person that I personally know. She is the furthest left person that I know personally. And she was like, holy shit. I had no idea this was real. I thought it was bullshit. Can you send me more information? And it was a great conversation. Okay.
Good. That's a good
But
sign.
bro, because these people are starting to realize that the bill of goods that they've been sold has been bullshit too. So anyway.
Good.
Yeah.
I love
bro,
that.
thank you so much for coming down, dude.
Thanks for having me,
This is
man.
awesome, man.
Thank you.
I wish we would have done it sooner.
We'll do it again. I'm
Yeah,
right
we
up the
will.
street, man.
Absolutely.
Anytime you want.
And likewise, dude. You're welcome to come on anytime, bro.
Thank you, brother.
Anytime you want to come on, you got something to say,
Thank you.
come on down.
Dude, what's the best way for people to support you right now, dude?
Yeah, you can go to roycewhite.us. It's my Senate campaign website. You can sign up, email, do phone calls for us. We got good merchandise. Jesus is King t-shirts. Go buy one of those. And other than that, I'm on all social media channels. My podcast, Please Call Me Crazy. You can find on YouTube. I usually run it on X as well. Other than that, man, hold the line. We're not the far right. We're not the fringe right. We're not the extreme right, the alt right. We're just right. We're just right, and just right for a time like right now. And we have to hold the line against the leftists and the communists and the Satanists and all these people. But we also have to hold the line within the wire. And as sure as the sun will rise, President Bush and the Bush junta and that entire neoconservative wing of the party is licking their chops that President Trump is coming on hard times with approval rating. And they are coming back. They are coming back for the Republican Party in 26 and in 28. And if we don't hold the line, all of us on the right of center will have no shot in running this party or getting any policy passed whatsoever in the future. So that's the fight I'm in Minnesota. Mm-hmm. And Michelle Tafoya is like Tim Scott, the NRSC, Mitch McConnell's band of running dogs. They went out and recruited Michelle Tafoya, household name in Minnesota, legendary sideline reporter. But at the end of the day, she's ankle deep on the issues. And the reason they went and got her was a slap in the face. It was to oppose me, but it's a slap in the face to the entire MAGA and America First movement to say, we have the purse strings of the Republican Party. Tim Scott, he personally recruited her and has already endorsed her, even though there's not even a primary or endorsement in the state. And it's just to say to conservatives, President Trump may have gotten elected, and we may have had to hang our nose like Tim Scott had to hang his nose. Remember, he tried to run too.
Yeah.
We may have had to hang our nose, but we still control so much of the machinery. Don't think that it's over. And everybody has to understand that's why you have to be involved in the process, is to hold the right. We have to hold the right if we have any chance of saving this country.
I don't even see it as right. I see it as that's the party right now that represents
the people.
Yes.
Right. The fundamentals of American citizenship.
Yes.
Right.
More so in line.
Yes.
And I think it's very important also for you guys listening to realize that Royce is a real dude. Mm-hmm. Okay? He's just like you guys. He doesn't have a big bankroll bank backing him up. This is a dude that
ain't got APAC.
This is a dude that fucking gives a shit, who is willing to put himself out there. And when I say you guys need to do it, Royce is doing it. Okay? So think about that. You might just be, you in your mind, you think, oh man, I got some good ideas. I got some good thoughts. I think this, I think that, but I'm just poor little me. Motherfucker, that's what they want you to think.
Amen.
Don't take yourself out of the game. You have value. You have ideas. You have experience of being a real American. And the only people that should be serving in our government are people who have the experience of being a real American just like you, which makes you the most qualified to facilitate change. So never discount yourself. This is you. All right, I'm done.
Thank you, bro.
I got a fucking
Thank you, guys.
No, dude, this was great, dude.
Royce,
Godspeed, everybody in the audience. God bless America. Appreciate you, man.
Yeah, appreciate you too, bro. Thank you for doing what you're doing, man.
Thank you, man.
Keep on it, bro.
We're gonna fucking win.
Yes.
One way or the other, we're gonna win.
Yes, we are.
So,
Well, guys, Andy, Royce, that's all I got.
yep. All right, guys. We will see you Wednesday at 7:00. Don't be a hoe.
Share the show.